NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Live from the California Pizza Kitchen, located at 2400 East Camelback Road in Phoenix, Arizona. You're listening to Real Hockey Talk on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 KDUS. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm Dave, alongside Greg and Rick, the hockey guru from Boston, who lives in Phoenix. We'll introduce our special in-house guest in a second.
It's a mystery.
But it is a mystery, I will say for sure.
We need a detective to find out.
Yeah, we will need a detective to discover who this young man is. But great show today, and now I'll introduce him right now. Eric Story from the Detective, or the Dinner Detective, Interactive Murder Mystery. Welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm actually just flattered that you called me a young man.
That's right. You look like a young man.
I appreciate it.
Remember the song YMCA, Young Man?
As compared to everyone on this side of the table, you're a young man.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Very
We're the
true, yes.
oldsters. You're the youngsters.
Younger. We played
That's
this game
right.
last time.
You're
well,
right.
You know how we know they're old is that Dave laughs at his own jokes and starts singing songs.
Yeah, I
from
do.
the 60s
I did
and
say
70s.
that. Yeah, I did say
And
that.
repeating himself.
Yes.
And I almost did the gestures. Whatever
You
that
can.
is.
It's fine.
Yeah, that is.
Go ahead.
Now, at 2:30, we are scheduled to have Chad Zumock, Rick Bronson's House of Comedy, great comedian, showing up, and we'll see. I think he will. What do you think, Rick?
Once again, we may need a detective.
Yeah, we
Find
may.
his whereabouts.
That's right. We may need a detective. But this is Real Hockey Talk in the middle of the desert. It's blazing out here, and the hockey season preparing to sort of kickstart, but it's a month away.
Well,
roughly.
a little over a month till training camp.
Yeah. And so we'll continue with all the hockey action. Now, this is the part where, and Eric, you can, you don't know about this part, the initiation, where you get up on the table and dance. But we do have video, Facebooking it. I'm kidding.
He's
All
laughing.
right, he thought I was serious. Can you believe it?
Well, no, you
I
were.
pulled a prank on the youngster.
No, he was being serious.
Oh, I was, yes.
You guys made me do that.
Yeah, but you fell for it. So,
Oh, come on.
So
all right.
spontaneous dance is not only welcomed but required.
Yeah, required. And there's
Breaking out and
there's a
dance
baby shower
and
going
song.
on over there.
Yeah.
So it may be a double baby shower after you're done.
And
So-
that's how the whole baby shower scenario began
Yeah,
about
he
8.5
danced on the
months
table.
ago.
That's
All right.
Yeah, it did.
It's somewhere
Circle
over
of
there.
life.
Yeah.
Hey, they're coming in with a good crowd here. This is a great place, by the way.
Indeed.
Great,
Yeah.
great food. And what I really like is the great service.
Yeah.
And we got Cameron. We're going to talk to the manager, JR, the general manager here, really demonstrating great service. Now, Rick, let's
Yes.
have you start off because you love this segment, don't you? What
What
did
did
you
I learn?
learn?
You love the Tampa
this-
Bay Lightning now?
I thought, I was on the phone this morning with my good friend Steve Eisenman, and he told me to wear it. And
Oh,
if you
wow,
be-
really?
If you believe that, I
Yeah.
got some oceanfront property in Arizona. What did I learn?
Yeah, I'm wondering that.
Once again, I always come prepared for choices in case either one of you have snuck into my notebook and tried to steal something.
No,
So
we would
I
only sneak into your safe.
You remember Sean Burke?
Yes.
I do, and I just
Everybody
read
remember-
about him.
You did read about him. So
I know I have a backup one, so we don't have the
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the National Hockey League is not going to be participating
in the Olympics.
in the Olympics this year.
Hmm.
And there's
And
a lot
Connor
of people,
McDavid is not happy.
He is disappointed
Yeah.
in that because obviously he wants to throw a gold medal around his neck, and I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Represent Canada. So the team is going to be different this year.
Way different.
Some veterans.
And
right?
Over 40
veterans.
clubs.
So 3 prominent UFAs yet to sign have been contacted by Sean Burke.
Well, I only saw 2 of them. I didn't know
Mike
the third
Fisher is the third.
one. Didn't know that.
Has been contacted.
He hasn't
because-
been signed?
He has not. Of course,
Oh, boy. Really?
someone near and dear to our heart, Shane Doan,
Knew about that?
has been contacted, and Jerome McGinley has been contacted to play in the Olympic team. So I sat back and I said, okay,
Yeah.
I'm Shane Doan. I would do that. Why not?
Yeah.
He's never going to get a chance to put a gold medal around his neck. Never.
Or a Stanley Cup. Well,
Well,
maybe. Depends if he does get signed.
I think wouldn't you want to have a gold medal representing Canada?
Or $1 million. I don't know.
No, he's got the
Probably
$1 million.
go for the $1 million, right?
But I learned that there, some of those players may be on that team. So that's what.
That's what you learn. But he can't sign then, right? He can't be in the National Hockey League in order
Correct.
to participate. So let's have that open discussion.
He doesn't sign, and he says yes to, and he's part of that whole process of putting the Team Canada together.
So at what price does he sign? What if they offered him, which they won't?
If
$3 million.
It's never going to happen.
I agree.
It's a 1 year, $1 million at best for him anywhere in the NHL.
And Greg, you
Anything
agree.
more than that, it's someone smoking hemp.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes it does good things, though.
True.
No, they. I agree with Rick. It won't be more than $1 million. There might be some bonuses, but again, to him, well, it depends on the situation. If someone did offer him something like that, the 1 year, $1 million, or bonuses, whatnot, versus possibly just retiring or
Right.
not playing this year in the NHL and getting an opportunity to play in the Olympics. The money thing, I don't think he would care about at this point. It just probably depends on fit, who offers him a deal, how close they are to contending, and maybe, when you look at the globe where it's at in North America, if it's probably a better opportunity if he stayed out west. But I think he would be willing to go out east if a team like Pittsburgh or something, or I'm not saying they would be interested, or Chicago, a team that's a contender offered him something. But again, I don't think he's really had much in the ways of offers. And if he has,
Winnipeg to
things,
me is the only option.
And the thing is, I mean, even though he started the career there, I don't know. Unless he thinks that they could contend, and they're an underrated team, don't get me wrong. Yeah, they can be. But he might just be like, nope, I have like two teams I'd be willing to go to, if not them.
Yeah.
Done. So we'll see.
Well, here's the key question, and then I'll get back to you in a second, Eric. The key question is, and then we'll get Eric to answer the first question after I ask the second question. Just think about this. Would Shane Doan rather, or do you think he would rather have a Stanley Cup ring versus a gold medal? But we'll answer that. Let's go to Eric first. But answer the first question first.
Immediately to the point that I was going to make, which is these guys, I assume, are valuing a Stanley Cup above all else with tenfold.
That's
at his
usually
age,
the dream, yeah.
Playing this many years,
Yeah.
loyal. These guys, they sign late. They accept trades. They want to put their name on the cup, and I think that's if he sees any kind of a chance that he can come on, it's got to be a contender. Clearly, I feel like that the regret, the same reason why players can't hang up in any sport, can't retire early, with even with going out on top. They want that one last chance, and especially the guys who haven't played. So I feel like if he has any chance, it's going to be to re-sign with a contender, and then as a secondary, a nice little consolation prize would be to, and I dare I say, it's not a consolation, but to go and to play for your country obviously would be a pretty good option.
I agree with Eric. Let's how Rick, what do you say? And then we'll ask Greg.
You can't underestimate the Canadian pride for representing your country. It's much different than the U.S. It is the national sport. It is really large. And if I was to weigh odds on what are the chances of Shane Doan going to a cup team in the NHL or going to Team Canada and winning the gold medal, he's got a chance to medal easier than he does for Stanley Cup.
But even without all the great NHL...
because they're going to... So, all right, so say you put the World Junior team on that Team Canada team. They're still the favorite. It's them, Finland, Sweden are the favorites, and Russia. It's 4 teams, and USA.
Is it as meaningful without NHL players involved? Does that factor in at all, a little bit?
I think it would be measured differently because there wouldn't be NHL players in it. Personally, I want them to go back to the day where it was all amateurs. It's never going to happen. Russia ruined that. But go back to
they ruined a lot of things.
They ruined that, but it should,
this is
should be
political
all
now.
amateurs. It should be college kids that are showcased. That's what that tournament should be.
Got ya. All right, what's your opinion? I don't know.
Everyone has good points, but yeah, with Eric, I think when you play in the league so long, and that's what you have, I think that at least my mind is where I would want to be, and I think with Doan and Aginla guys that would love that opportunity, obviously, to win a Stanley Cup. And Mike Fisher, even, as you said, Rick, getting offered there, he hasn't won a cup yet. He's been close a few times.
Really close.
But you get that situation where I think they would value that, up above. But, again, it just depends on the fit and situation. Now, if it's something where they're invited to training camp with a team, a contender, do they take that in consideration, or do they have the pride where they say, no, I want to have a contract beforehand, not any of these pro tryout type things? And so but would they play in the Olympic? Because the other point you guys made is that despite the pride, the fact that, they might enjoy playing with the young guys and stuff like that, but would it feel different because they're so
I got a great idea.
competitive? Yeah, go ahead.
Why can't he do both? He goes, wins the gold medal. The NHL season is still on. Teams see what he did, signs at the end, plays the last 15, 20 games of the season, gets his name on a cup.
That might be a solution.
Would he be able to do that?
Yes.
They don't have.
He hasn't signed a contract.
Well, no, that's true. Because I know if you play, let's say, overseas during the season and decide to come over, when you sign with the team, you'd have to clear waivers. Now, I don't know if with the Olympics it would be the same. If it's not, that's a very good point.
He's
That'd
a
be
UFA.
interesting.
Like when,
that is a great point.
When Tarasenko came back to St. Louis from the KHL, he was their property. He didn't have to clear waivers. He either signed
Sabotka?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sabotka. I said the wrong guy. But I think with Doan, he could sign anywhere, just like he can now.
That is a really good point. I bet there's probably no restrictions on that.
Let's get him on the horn, bring him down here, have a share of pizza with him, and get him pick his
absolutely.
brain.
We'll call his agent. We've had his agent on. We'll ask him what his preference is, pepperoni or sausage. No, I mean gold or Stanley.
Yes.
Or is it,
both.
I'm sure Stanley would be the preference still.
I'm thinking that's probably true. But the second best, well, we'll see what happens. So
it seems like a difficult task to wait until February, play in the Olympics, and then hop into an NHL roster for the final 6 weeks of the seaseason or whatever.
Well, you'd have to
2 months.
hope that, there's a spot there, from injury. You don't hope for injuries, but, something's going to happen. Or, close to the trade deadline when they go, we need this type of piece. Maybe it's him. I don't know.
Roger Clemens did it a few times.
He did.
Right. Remember? I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's right. I do
Let
remember.
me sign there and try to win a World Series.
I do remember that.
He's a free agent.
But, yeah, I mean, it could be tough. But I think if he has opportunity to sign early, he would.
I think Doan, Aginla, and probably with Fisher. Now, Fisher, I think it's Nashville or bust. But with the other guys, I think they'd want to be a part of the team from the get-go. Yeah, obviously, trade deadline trades like Aginla's last year. Yeah, that happens, go to contender. But I don't think they'd want to sit out half the season until, late December or something and then sign. I just don't see that. If it gets to that, I see them calling it quits or just taking the whole year off in that regard. Or maybe the Olympic thing.
That team will be a full-time job leading up to the
That's true, yeah.
They're
Olympic
in camp
team,
and they're all together, and he could have his fingerprints on it.
And here we are on a break. We are live at California Pizza Kitchen, located at 2400 East Camelback Road in Phoenix. Come on down. We're here till 3. Great food here, great service. You'll like it. The Biltmore Fashion Center. Is that what it's called? I think it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
California Pizza Kitchen. We'll be right back after this break.
Get ready, get raged with the Sports Rage. Former Super Bowl champion Dale Hellestray and the Angry Fan navigate interesting sports topics and opinions. Weekdays 3 to 5 on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Real Hockey Talk live from California Pizza Kitchen, located 2400 East Camelback Road in Phoenix. This is Real Hockey Talk on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 KDUS. We've been discussing many different things, or one thing. What did we learn this week? I'm Dave alongside Greg. Rick, the hockey guru. You love that name, don't you?
I do.
And, of course, special in-house guest. I'd say in-studio guest, but it's really not a studio. It's California Pizza Kitchen. And Eric's story. And I always wanted to ask Eric, what's the story? I'm sure people – now, there was a great movie where, God, Friends and Other Lovers, I think. It's way before your time. One of my favorites, where the guy always would say, what's the story, Richie? Do you remember that? Do you remember?
I don't.
And you're probably too young to remember.
If you're a child of the 90s, the answer is Morning Glory.
Yeah.
For any fans of the band Oasis.
Oh, I don't get it.
Parentheses, Morning Glory.
Really?
The name of their album.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I did not know that.
So Eric is joining us. He's the detective in Dinner Detective Interactive Murder Mystery. We'll talk a little bit about that later because it's really a great show. We saw it, and I really enjoyed it. But what did I learn this week is the question. Now, maybe I should have – let's see. I don't see Greg because he might be interested in that.
He might.
So I don't know, Eric. Of course, we didn't tell you about this segment, but if you had something you learned, do you think you would know what you learned, or should I go with mine?
If I've got an NBA item, I don't know if you want to stick with hockey at this point.
Let him go for
we
it.
could do NBA. Yeah,
but let's hear that.
Okay, and so what did I learn? One of the stars on a basketball team that has made the finals 3 years in a row and plays with the best player in possibly the history of the game
doesn't want to
has voiced his displeasure in his situation. Kyrie Irving.
He wants to leave.
And he has requested a trade, and according to reports, has completely ceased all contact with his team.
Why? Is something really bad happened?
Ego.
Yeah, nothing bad happened other than I think he.
Weird, huh?
I think this is the state of the NBA in terms of how it differs from the other leagues. Is that these guys are all best friends outside of their teams. They play on Team USA. They hang out and pick up games all summer, and they want to play together. And they are, one of 12 on a roster. The smallest rosters in professional sports. So they hold all the cards, and they are now demanding and deciding, obviously, and in public view, where they want to go.
That's why you only have 2 to 3 or 4 teams that have a chance of winning every year. And even that's a stretch. It's been one. No, it's been 2. It's
and
either
it'll
been
probably
the Warriors
be one again for the next couple of years.
Who's going to break up their roster?
And certainly Golden State earned their position by drafting probably the best draft, 3 years of drafting in that's ever happened.
Wow.
And they earned the ability to sign Kevin Durant with that to fit him into the cap. But it's a coincidence that happens at the same time as super teams are being built everywhere.
Yeah. That's not good for the league. I don't think.
It doesn't feel like it.
No. Not at all.
NBA has become the Worldwide Wrestling Federation. You know who's going to win when they step in there.
I saw The Rock last night.
And look at the rosters, too, what the guys are making for the 11 people on the roster.
Good money.
The 11 man, and I don't know how people can watch it. Compared to college basketball, it's a joke.
Not good. It could be the demise of the league,
well,
maybe.
Three-point shot, I'm going to go old school. Three-point shot ruined the game.
Oh, wow.
It did.
I love
because
that.
It took passing right out.
Oh.
It took all that. You just get up there and you throw it up. That's what they do. Everybody travels.
It is definitely a different game just in the past 10 years.
It's become entertainment versus a sport.
And the level of skill that has increased just in 5-10 years. I don't know. I think the top 3 or 4 all-time seasons of three-point shots made were in the past couple years. Houston and Golden State both. So these guys are better shooters than ever before.
Yeah.
And it's definitely taken a transition. But I do personally miss the Steve Nash years and that kind of a player.
I miss Elgin Baylor years.
Oh, you'll never see the power.
No, really, it was good. Jerry West, Elgin, Gail Goodrich. I mean, classic players, right?
Even though the Celtics dominated them most of the time.
Until Magic Johnson came on.
Well, yeah.
Then they beat him a few times. But you're right. That was crazy. That They were Red
Jerry
Auerbach
West
with a cigar. You knew he lit a cigar. It's over.
Bill Russell.
So
Great basketball.
is this a problem for other leagues where in the times of social media where these players have direct contact with their fans, they can openly court each other. There are players who are
That's funny. That's a pun.
Who are unintentional.
No, I thought it was worked in beautifully.
There are they can post photographs of somebody like Kyrie Irving wearing
like
a Portland
Anthony,
Blazers jersey.
what's his name?
They can tamper.
Yeah.
Yeah, they. Well, no, that's the thing. The NBA is the worst with that by far. I mean,
MLB's
with the other
getting
sport,
there.
it is. But with the NBA, it's that's all you ever hear about is that these two guys, Chris Paul and James Harden were together 6 months ago, hanging out, and well, now they're on the same team. But it's stuff like that always happening, and it's like you kind of know. Before free agency, okay, that big star is probably going here or maybe there because he'll team up with player B. And it is tough in a way because you want to see good competition, good sport, and with this, good basketball, obviously. But it is difficult because Golden State, is going to be there. And the last 10, 12 years, you kind of have an idea of the 4 or 5 teams that will be there towards the end. Whereas with hockey, you really never know. Anything could happen.
You don't.
8 seeds win the cup.
Right, it's like it's close to parity. It's great for the game, but we're all hockey fans. I don't know if the NBA
we're
would
still
tolerate
great
that. I don't know if they want to have 16 teams that can win the championship going into the start of the season. I don't know if that would fly in the NBA. In the NFL, you'll always see a little reshuffling. Free agency, people draft right, they keep the right players.
Well, putting the wild card in was good for the NFL, I think.
I mean, and look at the amount of teams to make the playoffs anyways in the NBA. But going in, some teams don't have a shot.
It's a three-star minimum to get to the finals, and these guys all know it. Jimmy Butler was just traded from my beloved Chicago Bulls.
For nothing.
For
$1.
I'd say he was a... Pardon?
Who'd he go to?
Minnesota.
He's a wolf.
Thibodeau, who the horrible Chicago front office decided it was a good idea to fire, Coach of the Year. And if you're a Boston guy, you'll have fond memories, I assume.
Yep, he was there.
So Thibodeau is the coach there and went out and got himself one of the top 12, 15 players in the league. And guess where Kyrie Irving now put on his list of places he would accept a trade to?
Minnesota.
Interesting.
Yep.
When I said the wild card, then if I was actually thinking of baseball, they were the most recent league, right, to put wild cards in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that wasn't that too long ago.
Celtics are trying to do the same thing by attracting players. They built it a little bit different. They they really use an 8-man rotation. They don't have three
your
stars.
basketball. I thought you were
only Boston because they're Boston. I can't really watch it.
Okay,
but
it is
the Celtics
impressive.
A little bit. Yeah, I'll watch the Celtics.
Giving you a good compliment there.
But now, back in my youth, I always watched the Celtics.
Oh, you did?
And they won a championship after championship.
So you loved beating up my Lakers. I loved the Lakers back then.
It was fun.
It was fun?
I go back to the Bob Cousy years. And Havlicek.
What? Yeah. But I'm older than you, and I don't even go back that far. Bob Cousy.
Remember Bob Cousy?
The Lakers are going to be fun again. We have the balls, so it's good.
Yeah, they're going to be really good.
Speaking of WWF.
Yes.
Literally and figuratively. It'll be a good show.
So what did I learn?
Interesting.
What did I learn?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Taro Tsujimoto?
Yeah, Taro Tsujimoto.
You have?
Did he win the hot dog eating contest?
No.
They got a phone company named after
him. He was drafted by the Buffalo Sabres, 183rd overall in the 11th round in 1974 amateur draft. That was called back then. Now, who was the GM?
Draft.
Who was the GM at the time?
Of the Sabres.
Punch
Imlach.
Yeah, wow, impressive. Okay.
You're kidding me.
So, he didn't, back then they were competing with the World Hockey Association, so they had to keep the draft pick secret, which enters into this very interesting story. A detective could solve this. Now, they picked, Emlich already had great draft choices. You probably heard the success with Derek Smith, Lee Fogelin, Danny Gare.
Gilbert Perreault.
Yeah, but these were
Danny
picks.
Gare.
This was picks before Taro Tsuchimoto. Now, picks after Terry Tsuchimoto, they sort of missed out on, and those were guys like Dave Lumley, who played 9 years in NHL, 2 Stanley Cups with Edmonton Oilers, Stefan Pearson, New York Islanders, played for all 4 of their cup-winning teams. So there was a bunch of picks before and after this guy.
Did this kid play junior hockey?
Well, that's the question. Who is this kid? How did they scout him back then from Japan? And why did the NHL at some point say it's an invalid claim as a draft pick? What is the answer to that?
I think you're going to tell us.
But I think the detective here can figure this out. An invalid claim by the NHL. Never before has that been in history from Japan. In fact, they had trading cards in 2011 with this guy's picture on it.
2011.
It took 2011. So what's the answer to this very interesting mystery that no one probably knows about, which everyone will know?
Well, they must have had a list of countries you could draft from, and Japan wasn't on there.
Well, it was because they allowed it at the time, but Punch Imlich at training camp said it was a fake pick. He made it up. He made up a draft choice that no one existed by that name.
Why did he do that?
He did it because he thought the process was so slow, and he wanted to make his point. Wasted a pick. Could have picked some of the others we talked about.
Wise choice.
Cut off your nose to spite your own face,
Yeah.
I guess.
So Taro, but they have a trading card. They got an Asian guy on a card.
Win?
And it's Terry Tsuchimoto. In fact, the Buffalo Sabres used to yell out, I think, Tari, when they weren't happy. Get him on the ice. And there was no such existence of a human being.
No. Well, that would have helped them, actually.
So this is why I love old-time hockey when Barry was here talking about, so from the original 6.
Oh, yeah.
Punch Imlach was a tyrant.
He was?
Controlled everybody on the Maple Leafs. You couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't move between teams.
He was on the Maple Leafs, too?
He was a GM and coach. Oh, yeah. That's what he's in the Hall of Fame for.
This is when he was on Buffalo, but...
All of these guys were tyrants.
How'd they get his name Punch? Was he an aggressive guy?
You know what? I don't know that.
That was his drink of choice.
So the Japanese Hockey League, if you can guess who it is, you're going to win something good.
Well, I know it exists,
but where was the Hockey League that they say Taro Tsuchimoto came from?
The JHL. It was a great league.
Oh, well, that was close,
Terrific
but
league.
no cigar.
Did he play in the nuclear power plant Fujikura team?
No.
They had a meltdown, by the way, during the season.
Oh, really?
You get that? Anyone pick up on that?
You're right.
That's
Katanas.
That's bad.
The team, the Tokyo Katanas.
The Tokyo Katanas.
The Japanese Hockey League, you were close. The Tokyo
Not a household
Katanas.
name anywhere.
Yeah. But anyway, you go to Buffalo, the old-time people will know the name. Taro Tsuchimoto. I don't know.
Terrific
I don't
player,
even know how I
right?
found this.
There needs to be a 30 for 30 on this.
Yeah, what does that mean?
The show that they have.
ESPN documentary.
Oh, yeah. It is interesting. But how did I even find this? I don't even know. I don't know how I found this out.
Because you have time on your hands, just Googling.
Probably that's how I did it.
NHL,
So that's what I learned. It's sort of
NHL Urban
interesting.
Legends.
Yes. So,
It happened
Greg,
to be
you
true.
have what did you learn this week?
It's tough because with hockey, I don't know. There just hasn't.
Not a lot. But it could be like this old-time stuff.
Nah, I mean, there's, nothing kind of looking back into that. I do like with Coyotes, Scott Allen and John McClain coming in as assistant coaches.
Oh, I love
with
John
Rick
McClain,
Tocchet.
Bruce Willis, right? In
Detective.
Die Hard.
John.
Yeah, he was excellent, right? Die Hard, you guys liked it?
Nakatomi Tower.
So now the Coyotes
we're
have the
bringing it up.
original Die Hard guy.
Yeah, they think he'll add some toughness to the team.
He will.
Could protect some of the guys. Yeah, I mean, he'll be on the bench, but still.
Well,
you
they
know,
did that last year with guys.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
They need to go with youth. I'd rather have them bring up a 20-year-old goon than somebody like this.
I mean, the thing
John
is,
McClane?
well, it's good because he looks a little like an actor named Bruce Willis. And even though McClane's now in his 60s, he
Got
still
his big
he still
mustache.
saved the building, and he could all that stuff. But the real John McClain, who joins the Coyotes assistant coaching staff,
he's been around.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, good career. You know, I remember his days with New Jersey for a while.
School.
Yeah, so we'll see with Tocchet. And Scott Allen's a pretty smart hockey guy, and he has some experience there, assistant coach in the past with other clubs. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, what did I learn? Yeah, I mean, I guess, everyone learned some good stuff. But in regards to, obviously our country soap opera, I didn't realize it can get this much weirder. And that is, but sticking with the sports realm, learned the Dodgers, best team I've seen in, 30 years. So
what's their record now? They're just wiping up, aren't they?
42 games over 500.
Something like that.
Just remember that Seattle Mariners team that won.
That's right.
Games.
Yeah,
Adios in round one. They were going.
Yeah, anything could happen. That's true.
Yeah, but this year it's pretty special.
Well,
seems like it.
Well, the thing is when you look, the Cubs now are back in command of the Central. They'll win that division. They'll be back, and anything could happen, like you guys said, come playoff time, and even the D-backs. The wild card game, let's say them in Colorado in the wild card game, as long as you get past that, I mean, that offense is just crazy. And in a series, you never know what could happen. But, I mean, with the Dodgers, it's like this magic. It literally, now Magic Johnson guaranteed, promised they'll win the World Series. But they I think they've won like 47 straight games where they've had a lead at any point in the game, which is crazy. But their comeback, Mark, like last night they were up 2-1, and then it was 4-2 San Francisco. And I turn it off 10 minutes later, it's 6-4 Dodgers. It's just, there's just something like a magic in there, which, again, come playoff time, while there is magic, anything can happen, and the other teams can get the magic.
Hat, you're going through all this.
I am.
It's a glow coming.
But what's the shirt he's wearing? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, a music shirt. But we have, so a lot of that I've learned. I haven't really learned much in the sports realm this week.
I'll say this.
So I'll just say that
good
stuff.
Pitching.
Yeah.
Beats good hitting in a 7-game series every time.
Sandy Koufax.
Washington Nationals. If they get if Strasburg's healthy, I know we're going off on a baseball.
But this Dodger team is phenomenal.
You can shut down good hitting.
Oh, yeah. No, anything is possible. And, I don't want to look too far ahead with them. We do have the trade deadline, the non-waiver one, coming up here a couple days, and we've seen movement.
Who are the Dodgers have been linked to at least one of the big – is it Sonny Gray? Or Darvish?
One
of the big pitchers.
All of them. Yeah. Their choice, they prefer Darvish. Here's the thing, though. They're very reluctant to give away any of their top prospects, which I understand to an extent because of that, they've held on to Bellinger, Seager, all those guys over the years, and it's helped. So now they have that next wave, and they're thinking, well, it could help our World Series odds, but we're already a really good team. Do you want to mess chemistry and then give away a guy that, like Verdugo in 2 years could be, another star coming up, with another team? Why not keep him? So that's the thing, and their patience paid off by keeping guys like Bellinger, Seager, and Peterson, all those guys over the years. But they're a good, interesting team to watch because you hear different things every day. But, Darvish is their number one choice, and then the fallback plan is Sonny Gray, which Gray is nice because he has a couple of years left on his deal. So we'll see.
Well, I assume that they're playing for this year. Similar to the let's win a Stanley Cup.
Right.
You got to put everything. I used to formerly think you leave your team intact. You give yourself a 5-year window, but you these days you got to do everything you can because there is luck involved to a certain degree.
Yes.
So Kershaw is on the shelf. And that's the biggest cog probably in any team's future for at least for this year. So they got a guy named Alex Wood pitching a little over his head, but he was good a few years ago. But if you can get somebody, and you give up the young guys and you get a ring, is it worth it? You get a ring that shuts everything up in my point of view.
Yeah, it's a good point, and they have on their roster, a lot of their better players are youngsters that still are only getting better, so you could afford to give up, a top minor league guy or two for them. But it's interesting, with Kershaw, because the back injury flaring up again. It was interesting, though. They had 4 to 6 weeks, but then they said, but he hasn't visited the team back doctor yet, or a specialist that they have. And now all of a sudden Kershaw's pitching again a few days later. So we'll see. But, they should be on their head is that Kershaw could opt out of his deal after the 18 season. And while he loves it there and they have the funds, obviously, to get it done, you never know. And if there is back issues, so while you have the great pitcher like Kershaw, I agree. You want to go all in. And, I know the management, Andrew Friedman and company, says, they kind of look back to the Atlanta Braves. Now, the Braves in the 90s, they only had, the one World Series, even though they made the playoffs every year. It's like they're saying they want to sustain that success because they do know that luck thing comes in where, you could get the best roster and all that but still lose. And then they think, but if we make the playoffs 10 years in a row, our odds are we'll probably win. So I get that, but they're in a position where both come in hand because they still have so much in terms of youth that it's probably worth it if it's the right piece. But there's so much in mind in the sense where you also don't want to ruin chemistry. But I think they'll do something in the next few days.
It reminds me of a quote I remember, I think, from Jerry Reinsdorf, owner of the Bulls and White Sox, who said, if you're going to make a trade for prospects, make sure you get 4 sure-thing prospects, so at least one of them will pan out.
Right.
So that's the thing, with prospects.
And the White Sox have been doing that for the last 18 months. Moncada and these other guys, and trading Sale to Boston. So
it's the way to go. It's all or nothing, man. The 76ers point of view.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it all the way.
Right.
Talk about dismal franchises. Philadelphia 76.
Yeah. They might finally be on the right track. Maybe. The youth is there, but
they're going to bring Dr. J back.
Yeah.
So
they are.
The Dodgers' number one prospect is Verdugo?
Yeah, him and Walker Buehler, and they think that these guys, September 1st, when rosters expand, could come up and help the team. So they're saying they're off. We don't want to trade them. They're willing to move guys in the lower levels, like, A, rookie ball, single A, that have high upside because they have a good farm system. But so it's tough. I mean, if you're in that situation, you want to go for it. It's very, a record year like this, but it doesn't matter if you don't win a World Series. So when you juggle everything in your head, because if the right team gets hot come playoff time, no matter how good they've been, it doesn't matter. So that's why they've held on to these young guys. But there's just so many in the system that you go, okay, maybe it is time to kind of look into, okay, could we do that and just nail it down, get that lefty reliever, get that other starting pitcher. They have the pieces. So
it feels like ultimately they want to just it seems like preordained that they're going to face Washington in the NLCS. And, I mean, they're 40 games over, right? They're in a unique position. They're not a fringe team who needs to make a move to make the playoffs. They're a team who's potentially going to win 110 games. Mm-hmm. So do they leave the farm system alone and say, well, we're already doing all right here, so let's see how do we compare with Washington and make our moves based on just that?
I mean, it'd be interesting to see. And with the Cubs, too, they got Quintana, but if they somehow find a way to get a pitcher, because they have interest in these guys, their farm, they've depleted a bit, but it's the Cubs. I mean, you never know. Epstein, I mean,
he'll do a good job. I mean,
he's capable,
And they're peaking now. They're starting to come around with Lester and the rest of the staff. This has been fantastic L.A. Dodgers talk. Are we going to segue into Mike Camilleri now?
No. Yeah. I think right after our break when we have one, there's a lot. There is a lot more hockey.
Mike will be joining us.
Yeah. There's some. There are some updates that happened yesterday. Some signings, but we'll do a couple updates. But hey, this is okay because really there's not a whole lot of hockey. So everyone except myself showing off what other sports they know.
And I didn't learn anything this week, so that's all I could say.
Well, we have a segment reserved for you to just talk about ABBA and their greatest hits.
Oh, I love ABBA.
We learned
Now, you're
a few
too young
weeks
for
ago.
ABBA, but
I know of them.
you do? When did they break up then? Let's see.
I couldn't tell you that.
1984.
I'm not going to win trivia contests.
Yeah, 84. Everyone
In
knows
fact,
it was 84.
I've been fixated.
I mean, it was before we were probably born,
my son
but
was
still.
born.
You know what I've been fixated on recently? ABBA. And that one girl's really cute. She's older now. But
She's 78
Bonanza.
right now.
Remember the show Bonanza?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I've been
Lots of
watching.
that, right?
I've watched 157 episodes already this year.
Okay.
And,
You
yeah,
keeping count?
I saw the very first one. It was really
Are
interesting.
you blogging these episodes? Because there's a.
I should do a special on
There's a show
Bonanza.
here.
However, we are live from California Pizza Kitchen, located at 2400 East Camelback Road, Phoenix, Arizona. We'll be right back with some more hockey, baseball, you name it. We've got it right after this break.
NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Real Hockey Talk Plus. We'll call it a plus because there's other things we're talking, NBA and Major League Baseball. We are live from California Pizza Kitchen, located at 2400 East Camelback Road in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Dave alongside Greg and Rick, the hockey guru, and special in-house guests, not in-studio guests, but in-house Eric Story, the great actor from the Dinner Detective Interactive Murder Mystery. Great thing to do.
I want to see it badly.
It's
Yes.
really good, right? I enjoyed it
Real
a
quick,
lot.
Eric, did Joseph send you the link yet to the show?
He did not.
Okay.
What?
Well, no, here's
Oh.
the reason why is that I knew your name, but I didn't know the spelling of it, so I put it like story, like a book. And so I changed it.
It's actually with an IE.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And so I had just got it back to him, so I wasn't sure if he had the opportunity yet, but I will let him know that it's all fixed now.
Wow, excellent.
Yes.
Well
and you can listen to that interview on breakradioshow.com under archives, under, I guess Breakthrough Entertainment probably, right?
Yeah, just go to the site. You'll see
Yeah,
it.
you'll see it. So now you're a big star because we've made you rich. Oh, not rich, but maybe famous. Maybe you are rich. I don't know.
I'm not flashy with it.
Okay,
That's why
okay.
I want you to not know, so I'm succeeding.
But
That's
your,
why you have all
your
those
girlfriend
20s
knows,
following.
right?
Yeah.
Does the girlfriend know?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You can't hide it. You can't hide that from your girlfriend.
So he admits he's rich. Okay. All right, eligible
I'm rich in spirit,
bachelorettes. Okay, that's the way to go. I
Spirit
agree.
and love.
So, okay, so we all did what did we know? Okay, I mean, just a couple updates, I think, sticking to hockey. Johansson signs, right? Good signing, $64
Good signing for him.
million. Yeah.
Pretty good for a guy that whined in the playoffs about getting pushed around.
Yeah, well, he pushed back, I thought. I mean, 61 points, not bad. I mean, good. You got to say, hey, that's a good deal for the year. Had a good playoff
Think about
run,
that,
too.
though, what Ryan Kessler did to him, and he whined about it.
He did?
I don't want him on my team.
Oh, wow. Let's have a
I
discussion
don't care
about
how
that.
talented he is. He only had 60 points this year, by the way,
61.
too. Yeah.
14
okay.
goals, 47 assists, 13 points in 14 games in the playoffs, and then he got, of course, injured. I don't know. I personally sort of like his style. Greg, what say you? Johansson.
No, I like him. I mean, big number one type centers. He's not like an elite
No.
guy by any means, but, you know, on a lot of teams, and like with Nashville, would be a number one guy.
Right.
8 years, the max, obviously, and then $8 million.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Only 25
well,
years old.
Well, the thing is, it sort of fits in with what we're seeing because we see those kind of star first-line centers. They got their $10 million with Taves and Kopitar. You know, whether that's too much or not, obviously, discussion may be a different day. But then McDavid obviously takes another level, and that's understandable. But then you're seeing these guys that, you know, aren't these superstars, but still a guy, a legit top-line type of guy.
Right.
In that range, 7-8 mil. So I think it's fine, especially David Poyle has done a good job with some of the other guys he's got under contract. long term, what he's been able to do. And so I think it's fine. I think there's still more to the game that Johansson will bring from that standpoint. I think you can see him be a high 60, low 70 consistent point guy. If he could stay healthy. Obviously, he got hurt there in the playoffs.
Well, especially
I don't like Ryan Kessler either.
Oh, yeah, he's tough. But, they did lock up their top line. I mean, now the question I would ask everyone, Forsberg, 6-year, $36 million contract.
Yeah.
And Arvidsson.
Yeah, that was a good deal.
29.
Although Forsberg was very quiet against the
and $29.75 million contract. But the other guys, Forsberg's, would you say then Johansson deserves a lot more
he's
money?
Paid later on, too. Remember, Forsberg still was in the past. Each year it gets different. It escalates, that type of stuff.
But that's a good line, though. That really is a good line.
Well, yeah, we saw. It's a good team, obviously, keeping everyone together for the most part. Obviously, James Neal, moved on in the expansion draft, but they have a lot of depth.
Hartnell's going to join them. He's played.
They brought him in because of what Kessler did to Johansson.
Yeah, there you go.
So you spend another $1 million on someone because Johansson
it's only $1 million.
Can't handle it himself.
But watch for certainly Nashville again.
Yeah, they'll be really good again.
I think they're going to be highly competitive again.
Yeah, they should going into it, but I put money on Tampa last year to win the Stanley Cup, and they didn't make the playoffs.
Although you picked Chicago.
This
that
year,
was during the season. At the start of the year,
gotcha.
I put it on Tampa.
I think this year is a good year to put it on Tampa.
I'm going to do it again, where I will be next week.
So you're going to put it
my
on?
wages. I've got some secret picks.
Really? You got secret money like this young man.
Yeah, Mike Camilleri will score 27 goals next year.
I'm putting $1,000 on Mike Camilleri to win the Hart Trophy.
Oh.
You know what that'll pay?
That's not going to happen.
No.
But what really won't happen, put money on the Coyotes to win the Cup.
You could.
That wouldn't
be you could.
I'd put $10 on it and get back $8.6 million.
And that wouldn't be a horrible pick because they. Not obviously. Yeah, they're in the lower totem pole still in the sense of Cup contenders, but sometimes when these young guys come together, maybe they surprise, make the playoffs, and then anything could happen. And that $10 could be used.
I'm sure somewhere you can
nice.
do this bet, and I know I won't see this line in Vegas. What teams that made the playoffs this year will not make the playoffs next year? You know there's going to be a drop-off. Who's going to fall out? Because we've talked about who's improved. Carolina, Tampa, L.A., Sharks. Who is going to –
the Sharks.
I think that's possible.
Yeah, they're going to –
Montreal, Ottawa.
Montreal. And Markov going now to the KHL. Now, granted, a guy his age, you don't want to give more than 1 year, but he said he's willing to do 1 year. And the point is, he's was one of their best defensemen, and now you lose him. He lost Radulov. Granted, they trade for Jonathan Drouin, but
they'll probably bring Brian Giunta back to fill out the roster.
Right, yeah. And they'll have him play forward and D. I don't know what they do. I don't.
If Carey Price gets hurt, that team will be 25 games below 500.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
That's how bad they are.
Yeah. I think Minnesota has a shot of falling out, possibly.
They overachieved
but possibly
during the regular season. But
you got some upcomers.
A lot of good pieces still there, though.
But I think San Jose, you might be right on that one. They have a shot.
I think Carolina is going to push one of the Eastern. They're in that Metro Conference, which is so brutal.
Yeah, it is.
But Capitals are going to take us. I still think the Capitals will make the playoffs. They're not going to run away with it. Columbus should still be there. For Carolina to make it, it's going to be hard. But they could.
Yeah.
They will, yeah.
I think so.
Do you think Philly will take a pretty big push up the ladder now?
They should, based on what they've done. Mm-hmm. But once again, tough conference.
Yeah.
I look at I look at Montreal and I look at Ottawa dropping back a little bit. In that Metro, I see Washington dropping back a little bit because I think Tampa is going to make the playoffs this year. So that's one of those 8 is not going to be there.
I'll say this, even though it's early on, obviously, and still off-season to go, and training camp, young guys will surprise, all that, I'd maybe have Tampa as my favorite, possibly, out of the East, very, very early on. I really like that team. Last year, that stuff happens. They're really good team.
Vasilevsky has to do it for 60 games, though.
And I think he will. I think he definitely can. I like the Lightning a lot. This stuff happens. Team will have an off year. They had injuries, all that stuff.
Really
but
bad, right.
Oh, yeah. And Stamkos, hopefully he's healthy. And, the Drouin trade, I love him as a player offensively. But on the other hand, you get the good young defense. Maybe he doesn't make the team yet. But with the healthy Stamkos, that makes up, obviously.
And they got everyone back. Palat, Tyler Johnson. I mean,
they will be good. Let's ask our Chicago expert here from Chicago. How about the Blackhawks? What's going on? They'll certainly make the playoffs, but will they repeat 109 points like last year?
Yeah, you have to assume that they can at least take the division. The young guys were good enough last year to float them in the regular season at least.
Yeah.
Brandon Saad coming back, I really like. I think he's a fairly close 1-to-1 replacement for Hossa. And Jonathan Taves, when they got Saad back, made a statement that he
wanted him.
Something was different ever since Saad was gone. So. I think that's he's one of I think he's one of the more underrated two-way players on that team in the league now, and probably one of the better on that team at this point. But they made a trade of Nick Hjalmarsson, and
what do you think of that? We have a split decision here, right? Don't we?
Yeah, we've talked about it ad nauseum, as they say.
We wrote our book on it.
So what's your opinion?
Chicago get better
getting Murphy,
Connor Murphy.
What is
I don't know that I know enough about Murphy.
Yeah.
He's got pedigree, right? He's a first-round pick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's got a sizable cap hit, and that's one of the first things I look at in any move.
But he's younger.
Yeah, younger.
Has some toughness to him.
So that's they also signed the free agent from Russia, or from the Czech defenseman as well.
Yeah,
and they're piecing things together. Back there, and frankly, I think Seabrook is on the downside at this point.
Yeah,
Duncan Keith is not have the quick step as much as he had 6-7 years ago. These guys played so much, so I don't know. I think that the advantage that they had that got them to the sort of dynasty level is gone at this point. They used to have Kane and Taves at $6 million. They had a bunch of young guys outplaying their contracts. Andrew Shaw back a few years back, and Bickle, and Dave Boland, who's now here. A lot of these guys that they anchored the team with the stars at low deals, and then they filled in the gaps with guys who were average or above average NHL players, and that led to 3 titles and a couple of finals appearance. Western Conference Finals appearances, and I think that's kind of gone. I couldn't be happier with what Scotty Bowman has done. He's been hampered every year with the cap. He's worked his way around it. I think he's only lost one deal, the Patrick Sharp to Dallas deal, but every other trade.
Now he's back.
And now he's back.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Blues Brothers. They're putting the band back together again.
And that was something he had to move him for cap.
Exactly,
issues,
he was
basically.
forced.
Yeah,
and he didn't have any leverage, and they got Trevor Daley, who
when he went to Pittsburgh, did all right.
Yeah, for some reason couldn't make it happen in
Chicago lost character.
Yeah,
when they lost Andrew Shaw, and Saad had great playoffs. They lost that, and I'm not going to start beating down Eastern Europeans, but Panarin, that guy disappeared again April and May. And they got swept, and look at their last 10 games going into the season.
Yeah.
Something happened. Panarin, he's gone. They bring Saad back. I know they'd love to have Andrew Shaw back, because Montreal has 2 of those guys with him and Brendan Gallagher. Too bad they didn't have anything else.
Right.
Those guys.
Brendan Gallagher.
Yeah, you
we
need
had
one of those
his
guys.
cousin on our show. Remember ASU?
We did.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
A team needs a guy like that.
Captain of ASU, I think.
Oh,
yeah, we're going to have to get
fantastic.
going with ASU.
That's fantastic.
Should we do?
Right?
Got his name, though. Anyway.
Well, weird thing with Chicago, yeah, I think Saad and Taves is happy that Saad is back because they did well together in the past. And Saad could help on the penalty kill, do other things, as you said, Panarin couldn't do, even though Panarin during the regular season, the big offensive output. But Saad is still overall. I think the Hossa thing, though, even though, yeah, long term, if the cap thing you don't have to worry about anymore, great, but he's still a very good player.
Yep.
And now losing him in that production, I mean, will Sharp be healthy next year coming back? I think it was hip issue and concussion last year with Dallas. Maybe he's comfortable and still shows he has a little thing left. But the thing is the type of player Hossa was, not just offensively, but just everything. I think it's going to hurt, and I think Chalmers and I like Connor Murphy, and I understand the move from them in some regards. I just think that it's going to be a big effect because Murphy could do some good things, but that thing that Chalmerson could do where you may not realize it or a casual fan may not see, but because his stick was a centimeter this way instead of a centimeter that way, it disrupted the puck, and then blocking shot. I just think that will be missed, and especially come playoff time. Now, they had their issue last year in the playoffs anyways, but
yeah, they didn't show up.
Yeah, they didn't. But I think it makes them worse, and we'll see some of the other young guys now what they could do if, with the Forsling guys like that. But the D, I just think it did get worse with that, and I think they'll make the playoffs, but I think it will be a fight because of the Central. It's just so good. Everyone but Colorado. When you talked about Winnipeg earlier, if they're young guys, and now with Steve Mason, if he could actually give them adequate goaltending, they could be a big step forward.
Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Dallas.
Well,
St.
Dallas
Louis,
will step it up a bit.
Really going to push Chicago. All those teams got better.
Yeah.
Just going into this, you think of all the teams that can contend. We can't talk about the NBA this way.
Yeah, I have my one finger up, and that's
we
the
gotta
one NBA team.
Let's look at it the opposite. Who, at this point, you're pretty 99% sure will not make the playoffs?
Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Coyotes.
And Coyotes.
That doesn't mean they're not going to be. They'll be better, but I just don't think they can make the playoffs yet.
Too many good teams. Colorado too.
Vancouver and Colorado in the West are my shirts. I don't think the Coyotes will, but I still, when you have young teams, that sometimes there could be a shock in one way. Now, I think the difficult thing is how good the other teams in the Pacific still are. So, yeah, I mean, do they jump over Edmonton, Calgary, and a couple of the California teams? Probably not, obviously, but yeah, Vancouver, man, poor Canucks.
I know you're going to disagree here, and I'm not just doing it to lob the grenade into the table.
Here we go.
I don't think the LA Kings have done enough to make the playoffs. I'm doing that by looking at what they've done. I just don't see it.
Well,
I think they will, because I think just the coaching change.
And they had some health issues right up front with Quick going out.
But everybody did. And they're only going to get in if San Jose goes sideways. Then I think LA can get in. But if it's all equal, I just don't see it. They didn't pick up any speed. None.
Well, the thing is back.
I think that's the thing is that some of the young guys now that they had that could play, they'll get that opportunity. And now, granted, they had a lot of young guys they did put in the lineup per se last year, but took some time. My belief in them, in looking at this standing out, because I see them play a lot, Andrei Kopitar will not be that bad again.
No,
he was obviously bothered. Right. Toffoli is going to be back to that 30 goal because he had, right after the ear surgery, he was hampered really badly. Now, all teams go through it, but the quick thing, even though Peter Budaj did you can't ask for anything more. The effect that it has, though, on the whole roster, now the D gets, we have a little leeway. We have Jonathan back there. Before, Budaj's making the saves he needs to, but you play kind of a little more stingy back there, I believe. It is difficult because there's so many good teams, so I'm not wouldn't guarantee. I understand where you're coming from. But I part of it is seeing them more. There's still that thing in there where I think there's enough, and so many players. They love Sutter, obviously, with what he did, and I'm sure off the ice, but so many of them wanted him gone, and it was for a year before that.
True.
So they were lost. They're a team that they could be kind of in that black hole, or they could shock completely and just play amazing hockey because of that thing off their back of what Sutter. I mean, it really seemed like there was a lot of issue that maybe hasn't been totally out there.
And they have an offensive coordinator.
They have an offensive coordinator.
That's
now.
got to help.
Pierre Turgeon, and the other team's brought in Dale Hunter to coach against him.
Oh,
yeah.
You're gonna. I don't see any team at the start of the season going 15-3, other than teams like Edmonton, Calgary, Toronto, Pittsburgh. We're going to be talking in March, April next year, and we're going to see 4 or 5 teams, and each all jammed up.
Probably.
It has to. There's not going to be separation of 8 teams. You can't.
And before we get to maybe who we think might be the first coach to let go, John Tavares, this is his last year with the Islanders, you feel?
I don't know. Let's see how he does with Eberle.
Okay.
Because they were World Junior together, and they won the World Junior. New York has a lot of money. I thought Stamkos was gone. And he signed there. Tavares has been really quiet. Unless, I don't know him personally. He may want to say, oh, boy, I want to be in Montreal, or I want to be in – you don't know that.
Right, that's true.
You could. He could just say, I'm done. I've had enough of Garth Snow and the Islanders. I don't know that.
And like you said, with Eberle, and things could change, but I think this is it. I think it is.
Okay.
They either will move him during the year or they'll keep him, but it won't get done. He'll reach free agency.
Well, the Islanders have announced they brought Joe Sakic in as the GM.
And now he's gone. Tavares has been moved for a third-round pick.
Once Matt Duchene.
A third-round pick.
You gotta have that window just right if you're going to get value.
Yeah.
And you can't wait too long, because then it just works against you. And I think, I mentioned Joe Sakic. I think that's almost where he is right now with Duchene and Landeskog. He might have waited too long. The time to do it was at the draft. Now you're seeing rosters full out. They're coming together. And, okay, all these teams we were talking about that Matt Duchene was a fit, we're not talking about that anymore.
Yeah.
Where's he going to go? Nashville? No, he's not going to go there. Pittsburgh? No. Bruins aren't going to trade their defenseman.
Yeah. It's tough because it is an off-season type trade with a guy who's under contract like that. Normally you would see, like you said, at the draft, early July. But now teams have got their things together, and if anything, maybe, the little pieces and stuff. Right. But, yeah, it's hard to see. And I get Sakic would want to hold out, get what he thinks is fair, but from my understanding, it sounds like he got some great offers. So
yeah, and it wasn't good enough for him to take. He wants McAvoy. He wants Brendan Carlo. He wants one of those top 4 Nashville guys. It's a pipe dream.
Yeah.
He wanted one of the top 4 Carolina guys. That's just not going to happen.
Right.
You never start from net out and give up those assets.
Yeah.
You just don't. You just don't.
So who's the coach? Oh, wait, you got a question here.
Tavares is unressed at the end of this year.
At the end of this year.
Yeah.
So he hasn't posted anything on Instagram or Twitter announcing his desire and what teams he wants to play for. I think he did say he will not negotiate once camp starts. I'm going to play hockey.
But there was a picture of him.
They offer me what I want.
Before camp.
There was a picture of him, though, and in the background there was a couple different team banners hanging up. So, but it's going to be fascinating because we haven't really seen – we thought we would see Stamkos reach technically the market, but he had signed right before July 1st with Tampa when that happened. But it would be fun if he reached. And even though this is still 2 years away and a lot of these guys will re-sign or get moved, sign with new teams, but – that 2019 unrestricted free agency, if any of these guys 2 years down the line are still the way they are, and a lot of them are still very young, and somehow reach, that would be amazing free agent market. Again, things change. Obviously, a lot of these guys will re-up before that, but it's always fun to dream.
So when we come back from the break, we'll say which coaches, although we may have a quick interview with one of the great managers here, but we won't forget the coaches that will go first. I have 2 of them. How many you guys have?
Well, I have a list of 3, so that's going to cover me.
So I got 2. You got 3. You probably have a couple.
Unless 4 of us go and I go last.
Yeah.
Okay, we could do in whatever order. However, it should be interesting, and I might shock you.
You could.
I doubt it.
Depends.
You always say that, and then you say the
obvious.
The one that, yeah.
You're
it's
right.
okay if he doesn't know what's obvious, what's not. He will think,
I know. It's
I'm
true.
breaking the story, or, there's this thing, this
Breaking news.
website called LinkedIn I just found.
Exactly.
It's like
I never use it. But I should, shouldn't I? Okay, I will.
And we're still, our main Facebook page, still suspended.
Not Facebook, Twitter.
Twitter
See,
page.
he's acting like
Adults at Twitter still won't get back to us.
What do we do?
What happened?
Yeah,
They're not saying. Our hockey page is good, but our main page.
They're giving you the cold shoulder.
Too much
But
vulgarity.
we don't know why.
Yeah,
No,
we don't
I don't
even
think
post.
Yeah, I hardly even post.
Again, this is a marketable quality.
Yeah.
We are a banned Twitter account.
Yeah, we got to look into this. And anyway, we are broadcasting live from California Pizza Kitchen, located at 2400 East Camelback Road, Phoenix. Come on down. We're here till 3. This is a great place if you want to have great food, great service. And we'll be right back after these words.
Are you ready to go in the press box and in the locker room? FanRag Sports Radio takes you there. Weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. Hosted by Chris Schubert, right here on NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Real Hockey Talk live from California Pizza Kitchen, located at 2400 East Camelback Road in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Dave, alongside Rick the Hockey Guru, and our special in-house guest, Eric Story. I was almost going to say, Eric, what's the story? Okay, I didn't do that because it wouldn't have been funny.
I'm sure he's
All
never
right.
heard that before.
Never.
You have definitely heard that.
It's been 20 years since I've heard a name joke.
Oh, wow,
for
really?
the first time.
Is Jerry Lewis writing your material now?
Yeah, he is.
Well,
yes, he is.
And see, it's just interesting how Dave thinks it's the first time that that story joke has been out there.
See,
he was so excited. He's reading off something. He typed it out.
I typed it, and it's unique, it's clever, it's creative, and innovative.
And when he laughs, the whole table shakes. Because what he does is he doesn't let the laugh out, but he just starts
I
shaking
jump up and down.
It's a laughter earthquake.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. It's a Ron Jeremy laugh.
Oh.
Okay.
I appreciate the commitment to your joke, though, and the
Yes.
belief that it's
See?
funny, because that's the first step.
Exactly. You got to believe in your own jokes. Now, all right, who wants to go first? The coaches that.
First coach to be fired in the NHL upcoming 2017-18
Yeah, we'll
season.
go just around the horn. Yeah.
I know Greg wants to say John Stevens, but we'll
No,
let
he's
him,
not going to. There's no
see,
way.
that's sarcasm. That's
Oh, that's
it
sarcasm.
wasn't sarcasm. How did you know?
No.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want Craig to go?
Yeah, whatever.
No, not Craig. No, okay.
You want?
Dave, why don't you go? I know you.
I could,
Okay, go ahead.
I'll do it. I'll do
All
it. All right. So a couple picks, because I'll probably say who I think, but maybe then not the long shot.
Remember, you're on Survivor Island, and you have to get this right.
I do.
Oh.
You cannot
Who are you on with,
waffle.
though?
Who are you picking?
Wait, I'm having a Saturday morning, even though it's afternoon, fumble right now.
You're on with the island.
What's the thing when you make like a long shot pick?
Hail Mary?
No.
Yeah.
Underdog.
No. Well, there's that.
It's a Harry.
Like.
Hail.
I mean, you say dark horse,
Long
but
shot?
oh, man,
Underdog.
I forget.
Oh, we said
no, I'll try to like when you're making just a crazy pick.
It's called the crazy pick.
No,
Out of left field.
There's that.
Shot in the dark.
I guess I could
Yeah,
say
Pink
any
Panther.
of them. Like the there's a.
How about
There's a
no
saying.
basis for this pick?
Oh, I'm just upset. I'm
It's
forgetting the
called,
very easy thing that
Desperation.
there's that.
Oh,
but,
the mustard came off the hot dog.
I got.
Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
I want to be different pick.
I want to be different. Where you have your pick where what you believe, but then
A gut feel pick.
no, there's it's like you make picks for the season. You're a
pick six. It's trifecta.
Don't hit yourself in the head. It's not going to make the answer go out any quicker.
No, but now I'm
gonna
like,
delay it.
this is easy. This is easy.
Now,
What's it called?
is this going to be the first coach to be fired or the
Yeah.
first coach to
This is a
quit?
gut feel pick.
Think of this. The
To
first
fire.
coach to quit.
Fired will be this one.
Separate category.
But
When was the last time a coach quit?
Wishful thinking.
Patrick Roy.
Yeah.
Right before
Intuition.
training camp.
Intuition.
Do you, do you have the person's name?
Do we have to call an ambulance here?
No, I have the coach's name. Okay, so here I'll name a few, and then I'll say who I really think. And then there's that, not a surprise pick, but like where
Shocking.
Unexpected. How much time left we have on the show?
Chippendales.
Forgot the word.
Alex, how much money is this
Batman.
question worth?
yeah, 500.
Things I can't remember for 1,000.
All right, so it's between Paul Maurice, Winnipeg Jets, because
Yeah.
they're ready to contend.
Yeah.
If Washington gets off to an awful start, maybe Trotz. Kind of looking at guys like that.
We
But-
all have lists like this.
I didn't
Greg.
pick those.
We want the guy.
Yeah, I know
want
that.
No, we want to know what the coin.
You
the-
know,
the-
I
the
know,
slang
I'm
word
trying
is.
I've got
to-
these guys written down. Who
Oh,
are
I'm
you
trying
picking?
to remember that thing. I can't remember.
We I think we just want the name at this point.
Yeah.
I want to know
Versus-
what he's thinking about the long
versus
shot.
the adjective that was.
Yeah.
We're
All
We
right.
can get into the psychoses.
Oh, dark
after we
coat.
have the
It's a
name.
dark coat.
No,
Dark
not
horse.
Dark Horse.
Yeah.
No, there's another name. All
So
right.
it's the Donald Trump pick.
Long shot.
We're not talking about pieces of crap.
You're talking,
Wow.
you're talking about the pick that I make that I believe in is one, and then the alternate
Yeah,
pick
but
that I
stun
throw
everyone.
out there as.
Well, it wouldn't stun Rick, but
Is that what you're talking about?
it might stun you. It might make you sad.
Oh,
Well,
I know who you're talking about.
Oh,
All right.
I don't think
a
so.
pick I think if Winnipeg gets off to a tough start, okay, I would go with Paul Maurice. His time would be up. But the shock pick that, oh boy, what's the name? But it's going to be Chicago Blackhawks coach Joel Quenneville, one of the great coaches
I
of our
don't
time.
know.
Because I think they are going to struggle a bit, and I think Stan Bowman will go a different direction at some point.
So you picked up my karma on the first coach to quit. I have as Joel Kennedy.
You have us, and actually that could be
Because-
very possible. Yeah, sorry.
Undisclosed sources, him and Stan Bowman cannot be in the same room at the same time.
What are you, from the New York
He
Times?
has wanted to get rid of Kenville because Bowman hated the fact that Kenville was as successful as he was.
Oh, I thought it was because of his great mustache.
No. And, you saw him get rid of some of his assistant coaches without any consultation. Kenville walked out of rooms last year. Bowman came into that locker room last year, made a scene. Kenville walked out. Joel Kenville could walk out of the Blackhawks tomorrow and get a job in 24 hours
Oh, well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
in a heartbeat.
Now, if you look and you analyze the picks, there's only two coaches under 500. Now, I don't know if that really means anything, but it's interesting.
What, last year?
Total career record.
Oh, career.
There's only two. Which ones are they?
Say that again.
Two under 500.
Bill Peters on Hurricanes has been under 500 his whole. He's only been coaching 3 years. They've never been over 500.
Let me see. Let's see if that's correct. Yeah, you're right. 3. Sorry.
Well, Bednar.
You're right.
Well, Bednar
Bednar,
with Colorado,
he's
but
never
he's
been.
only there 1 year.
Right.
So
I don't
far.
think Paul Maurice has ever been over
Oh,
500.
yeah. No,
either.
you're right. Now there's 4. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Maurice, I think it has been over before, but I don't. But for his career, though.
There's some high
I'm wondering.
percentages here, but
Yeah.
you
Mike
got
Yeo?
you got Rick Tocchet at 446.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
You got
Tampa
Carolina,
time.
like I said, 496. 293 is the Colorado guy, and then you have 470 New Jersey Devils. Everyone else is nicely above 500. Some in the 600s, but I'm going to pick one from the 600s if they get off to a bad start,
All right. So
and that is Jeff Blashill.
Oh,
On
the
the
Red
Red
Wings.
Wings?
Yeah, if they missed the playoffs, if
Yeah,
they
but not
They love
expected. Yeah.
But I think it's possible. The other one I would pick is Bruce Boudreau.
You can only pick one.
Oh, I thought I had two.
No, we can only pick one.
But which one would you pick out of those two, Bruce?
Well,
Boudreau?
it's your pick.
Oh, I want consensus, though. So I'm right. I want to be right.
I don't
All right,
think
let's
either
go.
of them.
There's nothing surprising about Boudreau or Barry Trotz or any of these guys getting the first boot. Paul Maurice clearly, I think, is at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Because the expectation in Winnipeg.
How long has he been there?
4 years?
Something like that. He has been there a while.
He's
He's been January 12th, 2014.
All right.
Wow,
he's on
prepared. What the heck? How
his
do I know
defense
that? 5'10"
has let
average.
him down.
Yes.
The expectation on Winnipeg has always been high. If they come out of the gate flat again, I think you're going to see a quick change there. Mm-hmm. You can easily say Bednar on the Avs, but we know they stink going in. Well, you're going to fire him.
Doesn't know
right. It's like the
what to
Vancouver
do.
coach. Why fire him? You know they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's the teams that have pressure on that are expected to win.
So that's why Rick Tocchet will stay for a while.
Bruce Boudreau's the top of my list.
Oh, so were you great? Give
He
me
is.
some knuckles.
He is.
Yeah,
Because
I think so.
If that team comes out
Yeah.
and is tight, the same thing for the Capitals. They got tight. They're bringing
Yeah.
in psychological coaching for the Washington Capitals to teach them how to play under pressure. That's bad. These guys.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they went.
So
sideways.
we agree on maybe this.
Boudreau, I think, is definitely on
That's
the
who
list.
I'm thinking. How about let's go to Greg.
I don't think with Boudreau. It was
No?
only there, his first year last year. Yes,
Right.
the playoff stuff, terrible. But
We're gonna write
I
this
just don't
down.
think. Obviously, if they're an awful start, 0-10, something like
Sure,
that. But
then that's-
just based on a kind of a normal bad thing, I don't see Boudreau
You went with-
getting it
you
so
went with
quickly.
Paul Maurice, right?
Yeah, Maurice. Yeah, he is my guy.
Okay.
But yeah, not Boudreau. Now Trotz, I see as more likely because it's been more time there with Washington, and this is a team that had been the favorite so many years. The other hand, not his fault. Their team shouldn't be as good based on roster movement now, but again, they'll still try to hold that high standard. But yeah, Paul Maurice, my pick for sure.
Now, anything can
Okay.
happen in camp if John Tortorella loses his Xanax medication and he starts calling out everybody in the Blue Jackets at training camp.
Yeah.
You could have a change there, but
Yeah.
and I called it. He won Coach of the Year this year because he changed. Guy did adapt.
So that's good
You
for
know,
him.
it is good for him.
He's sitting right next to us at the awards. The Thomas guy that was there. That's what's
Well,
funny.
if you had mentioned
Just
my
enjoying
name, it might have
himself. Yeah.
changed.
Yeah.
Well, is there
Who
any
wouldn't remember
possibility Peter DeBoer getting axed?
Oh, with the
I don't know.
Maybe,
Yeah, this is
but
his third year.
yeah.
I mean,
if they,
you know.
yeah, it's possible, but
There's still expectations in San Jose.
there are, yeah,
So,
a ton.
I don't
mean,
know. I mean, it's interesting.
How
about Eric?
How many coaches have ever been fired
And we had-
Probably.
after at least a team that went to the conference finals?
I
probably
think there
Ken
has.
Hitchcock.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, there's some pretty
It
good
doesn't
coaches.
seem,
Might
it
have
doesn't seem
been.
like a. It seems like that buys you a year at least.
Well, yeah.
Unless you're on bad terms with the
typically,
GM.
But it's just with the Caps. It's just
yeah.
they got to get to that next level.
And what if
Yeah, and
20 games into the season, the Dallas Stars are 6-12-2?
Oh.
Do they say we shouldn't have brought back Ken Hitchcock?
well, the trouble with that
don't know.
is because their system is going to be so much different.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you
if the
gotta be
players
patient.
have trouble buying in, yeah, you got to be patient. On the other hand, with how good the West is, you don't want to fall behind. But I think he has a leash. I don't think too short.
Because if you start out the season like that, there's a strong chance you're not making the playoffs.
That's true.
Every point counts. Every shootout counts. Everything. If you start out this going back to what teams could drop off, I said Ottawa because they're starting the first month of the season. Eric Carlson is not going to be there, and they lost Mark Mathot. Their top pairing is not going to be on the ice. That's a huge factor for that team.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Well,
a
they
lot of
did surprise last year.
Or did they overachieve?
Yeah.
Their coach is a guy that people, after a while,
Guy Boucher.
They do this. They block their ears because you got to play between the blue lines. That's the style. You play between the blue lines and you clog up the ice.
Well, let's just go for weirdest name coach. No, I'm kidding. So, Eric, who do you think is going to be fired?
I realize it's not going to be an exciting choice, but I think that Washington is put themselves in a position of high expectations again last year. And, boy, if you want to bet on a regular season team, they're got to be up on top of your list.
Yeah.
But so Barry Trotz might be told to take a trot away from the arena.
Right.
Good one.
You know, you don't go to Vegas and put money on a team that's going to win the President's Cup.
Now, who's the least likely coach? And that's easy.
Oh, he's in Toronto.
Exactly. No, I mean, that's by far, right, least likely.
Yeah, they're not going to. And they're also not going to fire Todd McClellan. Oh, wait a minute. Let me take that back.
They take a dip, with
that
talent they have.
I don't see Edmonton.
I think they're just
slow.
they're going to come out. They got to. I mean, they're just too good.
You know.
And I agree with you. So, all right. So we sort of all agree in a way, right?
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah. I am surprised to hear the Joel Quenneville pick, but probably not as surprised as I should be.
But I said quit. He said fired.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
I'm more surprised at quit. I mean that. I think that if it would be a horrible PR move for the city because the man is beloved, partially for his mustache. I don't know if you know, but
mustache.
The Bowman ego is huge.
I don't doubt it, but I do know that if you are head coach in Chicago and you want to win a title, mustache is a pre-requirement. You can go back to Phil Jackson, Mike Ditka, and Ozzie Dean for that. Mr. Madden didn't quite follow suit, but the Q-stash it would be an issue.
Yeah,
it would.
Although realistically, you'd have to do a lot worse than that to lose any kind of fan base.
Well, listen to this one though. What if the stash stayed on as coach? So Quenneville is let go, but the mustache takes over.
We put the Q-stash in charge of the. On the bench.
You just put him behind the bench.
Right there with a mustache?
Yeah, well, he'll just be up there and make his own decisions. He'll probably have some food in it, but make some decisions there.
It could definitely still express anger.
Yeah.
Well, what if the cab driver that got punched by Kane became coach?
That's so long ago.
Or if the other as Mark Wahlberg said in the movie about Boston, any departures from your normative behavior that Patrick Kane has had over the years that have all been swept neatly under the rug. So he's a great player, but don't give him a couple of beers.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I think with Quenneville, beloved by fans and stuff, like you said, Eric, I get that. I think, though, they want that excellence, and, a city like that, they're so used to, getting their cups, being in contention, that after being swept last year and, and not winning the year before, if they do fumble, that he quits or fired, but we'll say fired for the sake of what the fans would react with. I think they would be okay. They would sad, but it's like a Darryl Sutter thing. Oh, we're sad, but okay, we needed this to happen.
Yep.
It's time maybe for a new voice.
Those cities and franchises all have such a tremendously loyal fan base.
Yeah.
They're never going anywhere. Those teams, including Boston, love a winner, but they've also loved misery.
Yeah.
Because they've fed off it, and all those years that the Cubs struggled, and then finally when you break through, they'll always have a fan base. Always.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think ultimately there comes a point when the music stops, and they've had the Blackhawks in any dynasty, any team. I throw the word dynasty out there. I don't mean to throw it out casually, but I think they've achieved that status. But eventually it ends, and it doesn't. It often doesn't end slowly and gracefully. It ends dropping off of a cliff.
Yeah.
So if there is a poor start, the fans, some of the bandwagon fans who are accustomed to seeing their team at the top of the standings, may get a little restless. And sure, there was rumblings last year in articles I had read about some discord, and maybe Quenneville is not somebody who's going to stick around very long. I couldn't believe it when I read it, but if it's going to go sad, there's nothing more sad than watching that team try to keep that status when it's not going to happen. Like a boxer who is in his late 30s, early 40s, and maybe not so much anymore because these guys are in amazing shape. But 20, 30 years ago, these guys that would just hang on, and you're just watching a very sad story. It just might be better to stop and be a step ahead and start over. It's a parity, like you said, it's a parity league. 3 points might separate the 4 seed from the team that doesn't make the playoffs. So anybody really's got a chance.
Yeah.
Nashville gets in at number 8 and goes to the Stanley Cup.
Yep,
amazing.
Absolutely.
Now here's a question I'll throw out for discussion: will Pittsburgh pull off a three-peat?
No.
I hope not.
Very difficult though.
No.
But is it?
They will be in the hunt.
I think so too.
Yeah, they'll be in the hunt, but nah,
You don't think
they're
so?
not. With the parity,
there's so much randomness, injuries.
Right.
Yeah. And granted, they've done it with going through a lot of injury, but there could be that point where the roster as a whole, you get kind of tired. I mean, that's a lot of hockey to play.
Yeah.
Well, they were a very fortunate team last year when Murray got hurt.
Yeah.
Fleury played the way he did.
Oh, it's very true.
Which was huge.
Oh, yeah.
They lost basically all their top 4 defensemen going into the playoffs, and they won. They've got a tremendous feeder system and a system, and they, as I've harped on many times, their commitment to NCAA hockey players into their system is far and above any other team in the NHL, and people are going to finally wake up to that fact because you're drafting guys that are playing 2 or 3 years of NCAA college, and it's as equal, if not better, than playing some of the junior A leagues.
Right.
And Pittsburgh is going to be in the hunt. If Matt Murray is healthy, he's top 2 best goalies in the league.
So here's the second question: after winning 2 in a row, psychologically, is it a disadvantage that third time because you've done it? And are you willing and ready to really put it all on the line versus a hungry team wanting to dethrone you? Who has a psychological advantage?
When you have a superstar like Sidney Crosby, I don't think that matters.
Yeah.
And some of these younger guys want to get on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Right.
You look at Ron Hainsey. How'd you like to have in your resume? First 3 years, I won a cup.
Yeah.
Every year.
Ron Hainsey.
They're going to, Pittsburgh, I think, I would not be surprised to see Pittsburgh and Tampa playing out for the conference championship next year.
I agree. I think
Those
that's
two
where we're
teams.
heading. Yeah.
Those 2 teams.
Wow.
Well, there definitely is that post-championship hangover possibility.
Yeah.
I think we've seen it in the NFL a little bit with the teams that lose the Super Bowl. And
Except my Patriots, but that's a separate topic.
They overcame it last year.
I
So
could hear all the dials clicking off then.
yeah, they are their own case, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. So that's a separate program I've got just on the Patriots.
Yeah, we want to do a study of that.
We can.
What makes an organization excellent?
Well, the top 2 professional organizations, I remember I said comparable to each other.
Yeah.
Patriots and the Penguins.
Yeah.
Top to bottom.
Yeah.
and look,
System culture.
Yeah.
and the Penguins last year overcame that, but it's tough. I mean, like you guys say, with the young guys on guys on different teams. McDavid with the Oilers, he's going to be so hungry.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And then when Toronto, being fellow Eastern team with Pittsburgh, that would be a great series. But how hungry Matthews and Nylander, all these guys, and but once you win it, though, from my understanding, and I've never won anything, sadly. Well, I did win
You didn't
$5 in a scratch it. It was amazing.
And then you spent that $5 on another one.
I did.
Right?
And no, but you
They
get
gotcha.
yeah, absolutely. You get that situation though. From what I understand, once you win, there's that hunger, and they won it obviously. In 2009 when Crosby, Malkin and company won the first time, and then when you don't win, you get there's that. You're not tasting it anymore. But now that they have that again, they have that control.
It's an expectation.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. There's no other alternative.
Absolutely. So it's so difficult to play. It's going to be so fun once we get started. And time will fly. We'll be in mid-September in training camp. Vancouver and L.A. will have their game in China. That should be interesting.
Yeah.
We said China correctly. And so it's
in China they're going to play.
Yeah, China. And so it'll be some fun stuff. Yeah.
How is hockey going to work there?
I think the fans will be excited for preseason games.
Really?
And I've heard, now obviously that Sabres draft pick from 74, so we've known the leagues in Asia have been nice, in Japan. And last year, actually, or 2 years ago, I think it was, met a guy, and I forget his name, but he lives in South Korea, I believe it was.
Oh.
And they have some fun leagues over there. It's actually
and they had
pretty big. Good
defenseman
fans.
that played on the Penguins was from South Korea there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Most every NHL team has some type of developmental marketing program in China. I know the Bruins right now. I just saw a tweet. Tuukka Rask is there with Turry Krug.
Really?
They have a center that they sponsor the teams. They wear the Bruins uniform and they teach skating and they teach hockey. All the teams are doing it, especially the West Coast teams.
Mm-hmm.
So the real question is, why doesn't South Korea, North Korea get a team and play to see who has possession of nuclear warheads? That's what I'm thinking.
If nothing else, that sounds like a fantastic movie.
It does. Wouldn't that be cool?
John
No
Claude
more
Van
war.
Damme must be
You
involved
play
in
a sport to determine control of the world.
Walt Disney Pictures presents.
And we could do it like Team America. We could do it animated.
Yeah, get the South Park guys back.
Or
that
Ant-Man.
would
How
do
about
it.
Ant-Man?
That would
Would
be
he
good
on
Or the
skates?
other movie, and this may be based on a true story of in the Olympics coming up. Russia and the U.S. are going to have one team together. So
They are?
It appears so. It'll be interesting.
That's his attempted humor.
That was
Attempted
good, though.
humor.
I
yeah.
believed it, though.
Well, it actually.
Who will be the
sounded
mascot?
very well.
Yeah.
Who will be the mascot of that team?
Probably the guy, the orange fellow.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
guessing. Yeah.
Oh, Yakov Smirnoff.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and U.S. President Vladimir Putin will run the show. So we'll
You
see.
said that so well, like you're almost Russian.
Well, we're going to have to be.
All right. Anyway, we are live from California Pizza Kitchen, located at 2400 East Camelback Road in Phoenix. I'm having delicious spaghetti right now. Everyone
Good
else
salad,
is having
yeah.
something. Oh, this
Pizza
is
looks good.
really good food. Come on down. We're here till 3. They're open much later. We'll get one of the managers on in a minute. We'll be right back.
NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
And, wow, did you hear that? I sort of crackled my voice when I said but I said it better that time.
No,
and
it's true.
from California Pizza Kitchen, located 2400 East Camelback Road in Phoenix, you're listening to Real Hockey Talk / Breakthrough Sports. And we are broadcasting live, like I said, at California Pizza Kitchen. This is NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 KDUS. We've been talking a lot of hockey actually. But some sports like we usually don't talk about, baseball,
Yeah. And
NBA.
And Robbie Ray, hopefully everything's okay with
Yeah.
that. I don't
What
know if you
happened?
guys saw. Hit
line
by
drive.
a line drive. And
Ooh.
108 miles per hour off the bat. And got him in the head.
Back of the head. Or
Back of the head. And
Went to the
he
hospital, came back
came
and watched the
back,
game.
Right, yeah. So luckily, I mean, it's not as bad as it really looked and could have been.
Could have been
but
horrible.
it's definitely
I mean,
scary
that's-
when you see that stuff.
Yeah, that's a blessing that he didn't seem to have much.
That stuff is happening
hurt
more often,
there.
right?
It
Seems
seems
like
like
it.
it.
Or is it just? I mean, there was that pitcher who wore the padded hat a couple of years ago.
he's on
And-
the Mets, right?
I don't remember,
Okay.
but the only reason they don't do it is because it doesn't look cool, right? I mean, there's no other real reason. If you're 60 feet away from potentially a 100-mile-an-hour comebacker to the side of your head.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt. I mean,
more guys
you can't react to that. I mean, it's just too.
It doesn't happen often enough, I think, that it's going to cause a league-wide scenario where they're all wearing it. But, God, man, you only need it when you need it.
Well, there's no doubt.
You don't want to see that stuff.
But I'm excited because joining us right now is manager, California Pizza Kitchen, Cameron Graves. Cameron, known you for about a year now. I'll tell you, and I'll tell everyone on the air right now, we're live at NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 KDUS. You have the best service I've ever experienced. What impresses me is that when I walk in, or you haven't even talked to me for about 6 months, and you remember my drink, which is Diet Coke and lemonade. Okay, I'm not really a hard drinker, but you remembered it. You remembered the spaghetti with mushrooms. That is a sign of phenomenal service, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes a little bit out to actually getting to know who you're actually taking care of, just listening to them, what they're actually needing. Biggest part about that is I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for the guests, if it wasn't for looking out for them, taking care of, and then not only that, since we are a world-class training center, you know, teaching our staff exactly what our needs are, what our wants are, and, you know, looking out for the guests at the end.
And you do train people so well here at California Pizza Kitchen. I mean, I know you have other locations, but this is especially my favorite. And when I grab onto a favorite, I don't leave. And I bet you have a lot of loyal customers, right?
Yeah, we got a lot of people that actually come down from Tucson.
Oh,
since they closed down that store that was next to their mall, I believe it is. Haven't been out there to the mall, but they closed down that location, and I've actually had a couple of teenagers. They come in and they're like, "Well, we got to hurry up and eat because we got to make it all the way back to Tucson." We told our mom that we were at the mall. I was like, "Well, basically." It's like, well, basically, you're not lying because you are at a mall. You just didn't say which mall and where.
Yeah, just a couple hundred miles away.
Technicality.
That's phenomenal.
That needs to be on an ad somewhere here in the building.
Yeah,
have people driving from Tucson just to come see us.
Yeah. Something, I mean.
Well,
so if you're in Glendale, you know, giddy up. It's not that far.
We're the only closest ones to Glendale besides if you want to go around to the 101 and hit Tatum. Got some awesome people out there as well.
Oh, Desert Ridge, I think you're talking about. Yeah. But I love this location. You're in the heart of everything going on, which is really cool. Now, talk about this particular location. Do you have, like, happy hour? How does it work here?
We do not have a happy hour. Most of the happy hour locations are in Vegas, in California, I believe in California, but I know it definitely in Vegas.
Those kids from Tucson are going to be driving to Vegas.
Or
as their next stop.
Possibly, unless we can get something going in the near future. But as far as everything else, no, we just hold forth within our seasonal inspired ingredients. Some of the stuff that we got going on within our newest rollouts, we got 2 new fresh banh mi bowls. I mean, a banh mi bowl and a Santa Fe bowl, which, you know.
What are those?
They're both healthy and delicious power bowls. Basically give you energy without weighing you down.
Oh, nice. Nicely said.
Good.
The banh mi, they have both offerings of colorful combinations of proteins, fresh veggies, and ancient super grains.
Oh, wow.
So
these are really good descriptive adjectives about. I like it, really. No, this is really, my mouth is watering. I'm still eating spaghetti. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. They're very delicious.
I'm always intrigued and interested, curious might be the word. What makes a great server? But you're a manager, but what makes a great server? Because typically in the United States, maybe worldwide, I don't know, there's not a lot of great servers that you go, wow, can you believe? That was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. You're one of them. And your other staff also have that ingredient. But what's their belief system? Do they know, and their identity is clearly, I am here to serve others, to make them happy, prompt service? Because you can't have a self-centered attitude and be a great server.
Definitely. You hit it right on the head with that, on that last point, so I'm going to piggyback off of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
definitely. You can't have it being self-centered because it is a teamwork aspect. And at the end of the day, if you're not taking care of your four walls, then you're not going to get those repeat guests coming back in. And you're not going to, see those people that actually remember your name. It's a thing to actually remember the guest name, but once they start remembering you, you built that actual relationship, and you have them tied into it. So instead of, having them have plenty of options everywhere that you do, they're going to say, I want to go there. That person knows my name. That person knows what I want. That person might actually even tell me something that I'm thinking about on my next visit. And it all starts from the buy-in from your actual servers. And not only just the buy-in, it's the training as well. So once you get that buy-in from your actual server, then you lay out the training. And after that, it's pretty much set in stone because they actually want to show you that they actually care. As me as a partner, because I'm not a boss, I'm their partner. And,
another interesting way of looking at relationships.
Yeah.
Boss versus partner. And, with the highly competitive restaurant industry, the people with the competitive advantage, of course, given the fact your food is already excellent, is the fact that if you make people feel comfortable, and that's what you do, that you could get here, consistent service, great food, and that added element by knowing their name, that's going to make them say, hey, I want to come here, even on an unconscious level, because, hey, I just feel good when I get here, right? Yeah. And that's the goal, I think.
Yeah, nice warm welcome. You greeted as soon as you walk in the door. Everybody's smiling at you while you're walking by, or whenever that you're sitting down, everybody who passes by you are smiling or they're talking and trying to take care of you in every way possible. So, it's one of those places where you can actually just sit down and relax and just know that you're being taken care of. And, we all seen it. We've all had it happen between going into a place and, you might get a funny look somewhere. And, no, we don't do that here.
No,
we try and make everybody feel like they're like a part of the family.
Which is a great concept. Now, I have to compliment you. Have a great radio voice.
Thank you.
Right? Isn't this a good voice?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm spellbound.
Yeah.
Hypnotized.
So tell us more about, of course, you're at the Biltmore Fashion Center, I think it's called, right?
Biltmore Fashion Mall.
Fashion Mall, okay. And, of course, there's, it's highly competitive with restaurants. So what do you think, other than maybe what we talked about, is unique about California Pizza Kitchen? Off the top of my mind, I think the diverse selection of food is amazing what you have there.
Yes, definitely. I definitely agree with that. Within every 3 months, we try and bring on something different. We try something new, or it'll be a rollout. Just like right now, we have our California field salad. That comes around every year. So every 3 months we change it. Right now, we're going to be bringing back the pumpkin cheesecake pie.
Oh, that should be good.
It's high time for that.
Yeah.
Is that a yearly thing?
Yeah, with a nice praline sauce on the
bottom.
Oh,
my gosh, you're kidding me. When's that coming back?
A couple of months.
We missed it by a couple months. Oh,
no,
it's
coming
come back.
No,
I know.
In a couple of months.
I'll be here. I love pumpkin.
Just have to tie me into that coming back part. Huh?
I know. No, that's very cool. And anything? What's a favorite here as far as food? What would you say people really crave?
Definitely the chicken tequila fettuccine.
Oh, chicken tequila fettuccine.
It's a nice pasta. It has the red onions, red and green bell peppers, and then it has the chicken. The crazy thing about that is I didn't even know that we actually cut the chicken down to a portion to a point where it doesn't reduce to a smaller piece of chicken. It actually stays the same.
Wow.
And it'll hold in the flavor of that chicken tequila sauce.
Oh, nice.
And it's the whole, what is it? I think it's a 4-pound bag is made with an ounce of tequila that actually reduces when it cooks.
Oh, wow.
So you're not getting drunk, but it does have
now,
a nice
is it true that the chickens
it.
themselves were raised on a diet of grain and tequila? You want to get the flavor as deep as it can go.
I would like to.
That's not a bad life for how it could go for a chicken. You could either be the Purdue chicken,
but the end result's
house.
not that good.
The what?
The end result may be not.
Well,
it depends on how much tequila.
We can make them happy in the process.
Yeah, that is funny. So, Anything else? I mean, I noticed you got a couple TVs, some sports going on.
Yeah, definitely.
A really nice bar area here, right?
Yeah.
And I guess you have an assortment of drinks?
Yes, we do. We have the Cucumber Reviver. It's very good. It's a nice blend between pineapples, mangoes, fresh mint leaves, our own Paracone bar mix. And then we actually handshake that. And you can also have that as well with gin, vodka, or if you would like tequila. We call that the spiked cucumber. We also have our fresh strawberry mango cooler, which is 3 fresh strawberries. Then we actually add in our homemade South Seas blend into it. And then we handshake that as well. Then that kind of breaks up that fresh strawberry that's cut. Then you could also have that with vodka or gin. Very, very, very delicious items on those.
May I suggest one thing behind the bar? If you had Brian Brown, Tom Cruise, that would be really interesting. And, of course, you know what I'm referring to. I love that movie, Cocktail,
The movie
right?
Cocktail.
But more importantly, Elizabeth Shue should be here, too, of course.
You guys couldn't get Tom Cruise here today?
Yeah, probably.
No.
To throw some bottles around?
No, not yet. Not yet.
That was a while. But it is a nice layout. You got the window seating here, which is really a cool thing, I think. The layout here, I've been to other, certainly restaurants, but this
it is beautiful.
Is a very nice setting here. And that's important. You got the atmosphere, you got the service, you got the food, you got the location. It's like you really got it all.
And then actually these doors right here on the side where the big window panels are, we can unlock those, and those all slide. So it's kind of like a indoor-outdoor patio.
Oh, wow.
We're looking at an entire wall of windows. It's got to be 200 feet long.
Yeah.
Floor-to-ceiling windows.
That is really
north-facing,
cool.
So you know that the architect was from Phoenix. We don't have any direct heat coming in here.
Exactly.
That's true, actually. You're right.
Exactly.
And
it's very nice.
It's a real
Beautiful.
special place. And, again, we want to thank you. We enjoy you doing a broadcast here. And you always are great. We're going to have you on one of our other shows, Standard of Excellence, and very soon. And we'll go in more depth on customer service, some of your training experiences. I know we talked about that a while back. And it's just a real pleasure being here. I want to really thank you, Cameron.
I thank you guys for coming down.
You are more than welcome. We'll be here to 3. One thing I did forget, what are your hours actually here?
Monday through Saturday, it's 11 to 10. And then on Sunday, it's 11 to 9.
Okay, so
really any time a reasonable person would want to eat.
Yeah, well, that's true.
We're here.
Yeah.
They're here for you.
Even after on Sundays, when the mall is closed, we are open.
Look at that.
Oh, really? Yeah. Nice. That is a nice.
It's going above and beyond.
Nice. I think so.
And my Cobb salad is now in my belly. And I got the full version. Just amazing.
Oh, you did? Mm-hmm. Well, I love the spaghetti.
They say it's one of the best Cobb salads in Arizona.
Oh, wow. Yeah, absolutely. And avocado. Amazing.
Well, really cool. Well, Cameron, thank you so much. And we'll be talking to you soon. We'll be here till 3 and telling people, come on out and have some good food.
Yes, sir.
And really appreciate you. And, of course, JR, the great general manager as well, back there working away. All right.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Hey, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like this place a lot.
Baby shower happening.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a baby shower going on.
Got some presents over there.
There's not a more wholesome event that you could
That's true.
use to describe the welcome atmosphere here than a baby shower.
You know, that's a good point,
Right?
actually. I like it.
Well, a bachelor party.
Bachelor party would be
boring to do. I don't think wholesome.
Restaurant.
Yeah.
It would be a bachelor pre-party.
Mm-hmm.
One of those fine strawberry mango drinks. Maybe
one
of those drunk chickens.
Yeah, there you go.
That's very cool. So,
some tequila.
Where were we? Did we hit all the highlights?
Well, we talking about head coaches.
We ripped into that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
What time's the comedian is due?
Due at 2:30.
All right, so that's close.
Yeah, we're pretty close. So
I have some of the interesting remaining UFAs out there outside of Doan, Agenla, and Yaga. We've beaten that to a dead horse, so I want to fire a couple out there. And surprisingly, they haven't been signed yet. One really stands out for me. I'm not surprised Mike Fisher, because they're waiting on his decision, so he doesn't count either.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised Cody Franson hasn't signed anywhere as a defenseman. He's only 29, and I heard he's going to take a minor league, like a tryout contract to go back to camp. I mean, that's crazy. You know, defensemen are in demand. I mean, Montreal signed Mark Streit.
Yeah, they did.
Over Cody Franson.
They wanted that veteran leadership there, right?
Oh, yeah, but that's... So Cody's still out there. Brian Giunta is still out there. I think he can still put the puck in the net. It is surprising. He's only 33, and he had a good career as a third-line player. Yuri Hudler.
Yeah. He just... It's funny because... I mean, he's not a very good skater at this point, but when he was doing well with Calgary and everything, and then he went to Florida deadline, 2 years ago, struggled, and then Dallas, I know he had struggled, but if I remember correctly, he was battling some injury stuff. So if he's healthy, maybe get invited to camp at least, because he's always had, like you said, he has a good career, good hands.
Yeah, I mean, he's the atypical guy you'd see at this stage on the Coyotes.
Oh,
you know, they pick up Yuri Hudler. Dwight King's still out there, but that I don't see him picking
KHL.
Anyone. Yeah, we talked about Markov and his at 38 years old wanting 2 years at $6 million per, so he's on his way back to the motherland. Jay McClennett, journeyman center. I don't see him getting signed. P.A. Parento. I did not know he was 34 years old. I thought he was younger than that. Guys like that are going to struggle to get picked up. Dan Winnick is something I watch closely, has not been picked up yet, or he's just looking for the right solution. I'm confident he will. Drew Stafford, too. He did fine from when the Bruins picked him up last year, and he's only 31. He hasn't gone anywhere yet, nor is Thomas Vanek. Vanek's a little bit older. He's had some history of disappearing at the wrong times.
Yeah.
But probably will sign with the Red Wings when desperation comes around. And the 23-year-old former first-round pick of the Edmonton Oilers, Neil Yakupov, who worked his way into St. Louis last year and has failed dismally wherever he is. You think anyone will give him a chance again?
I think Colorado did.
I didn't think they had it.
I think they signed him.
I think they did sign him,
well, So once
but it
Joe
wasn't
Sakic
talked
is
about.
alive, he's out of his...
Well, no, what happened is Yakupov walked into headquarters, and him and his agent signed a deal, but no one else was there. And they just handed it over, and Sakic 2 days later was back and said, okay, we got a new player. But
so he's going to be on a line with Colin Wilson. They're going to.
There you go. Yeah,
they're on their way.
It's a shame with Yakupov in one regard. He does work really hard, but it's just tough. It's at that time with Edmonton when he first came on his rookie year, he looked really good, and then who knows?
Yeah. So only one of those first-round picks is left, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Yeah, and maybe not for long, because I think once they get Draisaitl signed to his deal, this year Nugent-Hopkins is fine, but maybe 2 years down the line they may have to move a guy like that with cap stuff, possibly. You know, and he's a good player, but never really developed into that first-line center type of guy. But smart player, though.
So is Yakupov going down the Jimmy Carson syndrome?
No one's that.
Jimmy Carson had a better career, right? He put up some numbers on the.
But he just faded.
Yeah, but he had at least he had a resume.
Well, he got traded for some future Hall of Famers, obviously, like Gretzky and then Coffey, and if I could remember correctly, when Edmonton traded him to Detroit, I think they got back Peter Klima. Joel Murphy, and a third player, I forget who, but someone else that was also a really good NHL player. And so Carson helped a lot of teams, but not on the his first.
But his first year,
first few years,
50 goals. I mean, he really had some talent. But then when Tiger Williams got in trouble, and Carson refused to grab a player back in the day to neutralize, a one-on-one,
it was over.
Williams just ripped him. He goes, you don't have to fight. At least interfere with someone, right?
Yeah. He didn't like the game I don't know if it was parents pushing too much, but they had said when he kind of quit on the Oilers too.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that's when the Oilers traded him. But I think he's very shy, and I just think that when he's traded from L.A., now a new environment, and I think he just didn't like the game that much anymore. Now, granted, he still stayed in it a little longer and everything, but he already was planning on his business career afterwards. I think he's a pretty successful business guy, but
really,
yeah, and I think I saw an article about him. It was interesting where he was talking about that. Where I think he, in the back of his mind, felt a little bad, knowing I probably screwed some teams over, but my heart wasn't into it, type of thing. But
wow,
so he broke an unwritten rule: is you're not supporting his teammates. Not grabbing the guy.
Yeah.
So let me go back to what we talked about earlier with Ryan O'Hansen's contract. Is it equal that he went on media surrounded by reporters and started whining about how Ryan Kessel played the style he did, and I can't believe he has parents and all this other stuff?
He said that?
Oh, it was bad. I mean,
you can't believe he had parents?
No, Kessler doesn't have parents.
Yeah, no, he made.
they're called test
yeah,
tubes.
he was born in a lab. He made. It was ridiculous. I mean,
wow, I didn't know that.
Ryan Kessler got inside his head so much.
And that's what you want to do. I mean,
but
that's
you don't talk about it. You said you did.
Wow,
so
I didn't know that.
I know how I'm going to get inside Johansson's head next year.
How?
Do the same things that Ryan Kessler did.
Oh, you're going to do it?
Just get in his way?
No, those days are coming down. But, you see Andrew Shaw lined up against him. What do you think's going to happen? Brendan Gallagher whispering in his ear.
Yeah.
Brad Marchand. Ryan Reeves. I'm coming for you.
Marcel Dion.
I'm going to get you.
Kidding.
Come here, Johansson. That's right.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. I guess for him, but
it's a new era. It's a new era.
Now here's a trivia question. I know someone's going to get it immediately. Who was the other rookie that played with Jimmy Carson?
Luke Robitaille.
He knew it right away. Yeah, those were the days.
Edmonton wanted him in the Gretzky move, and
they wanted Luke.
Yeah, and Carson was one. Wouldn't that have been something that is how the world, everything
totally
would have
different.
changed?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be whatever he is right now with the Kings, right?
Yeah.
Not at all. Yeah, those were the days. I saw most of the King games back then, and it was very exciting. Pre-Gretzky, you can get a ticket anywhere, anytime, any place. I had my own scalper person.
I remember the Dennis DeJoy, Rogie Vachon, Eddie Joyal L.A. Kings when they had the purple and gold with the big clown on the front of their uniform.
Yeah, it was
that
like
was hockey.
Clown uniforms, really. I never liked those uniforms. The silver and whatever.
Those are great.
Well, it looks good on the Lakers.
Yeah.
Just not so much on ice, that color combination.
It was the same owner. It was at the time. That's why you did it.
Yeah, very true.
I'm back in the day when I saw Crazy Kozak play. Remember? Don Kozak, and then he became a client of mine.
That I did not know.
That's why they called him Crazy.
Yeah,
you beat me to it.
No, he's a nice guy, by the way. Very nice, good family, and I saw a little kid. It said Kozak, and I'm thinking, I said to a friend of mine, I said, could that be Don's, son? And someone to my left, it turned out to be the wife, said, yeah, that's Don Kozak's son. Right at where was it? Desert?
Oceanside.
Oceanside.
Years ago. 20,
Long time.
20 years ago.
And we are broadcasting live from California Pizza Kitchen, located at 2400 East Camelback Road. This is Real Hockey Talk Breakthrough Sports, and we'll be back scheduled. A great comedian from Rick Bronson's House of Comedy. They should be here at 2:30. Chad Zuma. We'll be right back.
Easy Sports Talk is your mid-morning Saturday show with former NFL and MLB player Ed Smith, along with co-host Jim Marshall. Catch it Saturday mornings 10 to noon on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Real Hockey Talk / Breakthrough Sports live on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 KDUS, and we're broadcasting live from California Pizza Kitchen, located at 2400 East Camelback Road in Phoenix. Come on down. have some fun. I think they're open till 10. We're here till 3. And now joining us, a very, very special guest from Rick Bronson's House of Comedy, performing this weekend, Chad Zumock. Chad, how are you?
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm so excited to be.
Yes.
I grew up listening to the show. This is a.
How did you like it years ago? We were good, right?
You guys were the best.
I know.
One of our fans.
Phoenix and Cleveland?
Phoenix and Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah. I listened on the little transmitter back home in Ohio.
That is so cool. Well,
They don't have technology back in Cleveland.
Yeah. But, hey, welcome. And this is great. And you've been, I hear you went to Kent State University.
I am a Kent State University graduate, 7 years, general studies. I'm a proud 2.4 graduate GPA. I'm a complete moron.
And I don't think so.
General studies.
Yeah, general studies.
Now,
I don't even know what that is.
Here's a trivia quiz.
Sure.
Ready?
I like trivia.
Everyone can answer this. The whole restaurant, in fact. What is Kent State most well known for?
Oh, everybody knows.
I knew it. What is it?
Well, I'm older. I know that. That was
Yeah.
my-
Okay.
10 soldiers in Nixon coming.
Right.
4 dead in Ohio.
Crosby,
That's it.
Stills, and that's
You're
it.
too young to
There we go.
remember.
I know of it. I didn't think we were going to touch that.
I
But
don't
we
know.
wouldn't have had
Our
that
national
beautiful.
God.
Song.
I know. I nailed it.
That is really
Have
good.
you been asked that question before?
About Kent State?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's what it's known for. I mean,
is.
it was in the Vietnam War. It was
Exactly.
It was a huge deciding.
Big thing.
Yeah, it was a game changer. To this day, people
Yeah.
still bring it up, no matter what.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Now, I'm interested the Comedy Central roast of William Shatner. He's one of my favorite actors, more in context to Star Trek. I'm a big Trekkie.
Oh.
So tell us, you were in that movie, evidently.
No, I wrote for the Comedy Central roast.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
How was that?
It was cool. I mean, I got paid to make fun of William Shatner. How
So
awesome
what
is
is-
that?
Yeah, but he's an older William Shatner now, right?
Yeah. I mean,
A younger one, you may not make fun of him. I don't know.
I mean, even in those
Beam
old
me
Star
up,
Trek,
Scotty.
I know you're
Yeah.
a big Star Trek guy, but he was a little cheesy.
Yeah.
He's like, Spock. He's doing all theatrical. I don't know if I can. He was always over the top.
He was
Yeah.
asking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was asking
He
for
was
it.
But-
T.J. Hooker, too, wasn't
He was TJ Hooker.
He was?
Yeah, and then he was
Oh.
Denny Green in the Lost Show. He was the best on that, smoking the cigars out on
Oh, I didn't know that.
out on the,
So
was
now he
hilarious.
does Priceline or something.
He does everything.
Yeah, he does. How old is he now? He's got to be, what, 80?
He's the 70s?
70s?
Late 70s.
Yeah. You're not a Trekkie, I don't think.
No, but I know enough about things to have a conversation.
Yeah. That's,
I was more of a Star Wars guy, you know? I always
Oh.
thought the camps were divided, Star Trek and Star Wars.
yeah.
I was always Star Wars.
Okay, well, that's not a bad. I think Greg here loves Star Wars, too, more than Star Trek. So tell us, what was the one thing you can remember when you started your career in comedy that motivated you to be a comedian?
Well, at college at Kent State University, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of comics came out of there, like Arsenio Hall, Steve Harvey, Drew
Oh.
Carey.
Well, Steve Harvey, he's,
Out of Kent State.
He
All out of
I
Kent.
did not know that.
Yeah,
do
there's
you know Steve Harvey?
I've never met him, but I've met Arsenio Hall.
I always enjoyed him, and then he really sort of like semi-retired there for a while. I think to bring up his kids. Was that it?
Yeah, he was taking care of his kids, but he's still touring.
He's back though.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Drew Carey's a great guy.
Yeah,
But,
but Steve Harvey, what's the most well-known thing about Steve Harvey now?
Right now,
the
it's probably
pageant.
his writer.
No,
Pageant, right?
the
When you get the
pageant
wrong
where you
answer.
picked the wrong.
Yeah, when you pick the
Contestant.
wrong person.
That pretend or is that a real mistake? That's pretty scary, I think.
No,
It certainly
could-
got a lot of
it
retweets.
It could have been a good media person doing that.
Absolutely, because everyone was talking about it. It was
Oh yeah.
it was like the number one trending thing on Twitter.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to question, maybe they did that on purpose because everyone was talking about the beauty pageant afterwards.
And
Didn't
he
that
had
happen
good
with
publicist.
the Academy Awards? Didn't something like that happen too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that? The best
The wrong
picture?
envelope was given
Yeah, they had
when
two
they
of
announced
them.
Best Picture. And
And of course, the CPA firm
That was
botched
recently,
that
too. Wasn't it like last
one. That was
year?
last year.
Yep.
That was crazy, right?
Yeah,
You can't get better material.
did that
than
guy go to Kent State, too, who messed up that envelope?
probably. I think it was me. I think I'm the one that stuffed the envelope.
So what was the one thing that inspired you?
Well, like going back to what I was saying, those comics went there, and I always knew they were comics, and I was always class clown in high school. I played
Oh.
sports.
What did you play?
I would play basketball, soccer, and I was a baseball player. I got cut my senior year because the kids got bigger, and I stayed the same size.
Oh no.
Yeah. And I love basketball, but I mean, you look at me, I'm a 5'9" white guy. I'm not going anywhere.
No,
it's not happening.
That's a tough one.
No
doubt about it.
I needed something to channel my focus because I couldn't play sports anymore. So I was like, I'll try comedy. That seems weird because it's like working on your jump shots, repetition. Yeah. You always got to work on it. And I went to an open mic, and it was a contest. You could win $25.
Oh.
And I won.
You did?
Go, wow, I won
First
money.
time.
Yeah, first time.
First time.
That's amazing.
I was hooked. I was like, you could make money doing this.
Wow.
Telling jokes.
And
Do
how
what you love.
Yeah.
And you were in high school, basically.
No, this was in college.
Okay, so you really started a little bit later, perhaps, than a lot of people, right?
Yeah, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I still don't know what I want to do. I'm just doing this because it's paying the bills.
Not NBC Sports, though. That's not paying the bills. But, no, I understand. But you got to be having fun. You travel all over, I'm sure.
It's great. I mean, you go to different cities, you get to meet different people, and then you tell jokes for 50 minutes on stage.
And is that amazing? You've heard our show forever since you're a little kid, and now you're on our show.
This is a dream come true.
I mean, it was just, I remember as a kid, it was Hogan's Heroes, and then I tune into you guys in the radio.
Yeah.
Check that off. Check.
Real hockey talk.
And Breakthrough Sports.
From
Okay.
Phoenix.
Well, that's really cool. Now, who inspired you? What are some of the comedians that you like to emulate or that really had a profound impact?
You know what's funny? Everybody that inspired me didn't do stand-up comedy. It
Oh.
was always like, for example, Roddy Piper, the pro wrestler. He was like my favorite.
Yeah,
he was so funny. He was on the microphone, and I thought, that's my favorite comedian is Roddy Piper.
I remember those
He was an
days.
actor. Vince McMahon, all those guys.
Yeah.
There's two kind of wrestling fans. The ones who think that it's legitimate drama and the ones who see it for the comedy that it gives you.
Yeah.
The unintentional comedy.
And I think wrestling, I don't watch it now because they can't even compete to what they used to do back in the day with Hulk Hogan.
Or The Rock. How about The Rock?
I mean, he's the biggest movie star in the world.
He's really, what a success he is, right?
Yeah. You think The Rock right now was bigger than Hulk Hogan during his heyday, like in the 80s?
Oh, yeah.
You think?
Yes.
I mean, with
Of
all
course.
the movies, don't you think, Greg? Oh, yeah, Hulk. Well, I mean, Hulk was big.
He was bigger than life. He had a cartoon.
He was first.
Rocky III, Thunderlips. You remember that?
Oh, he
The
was.
ultimate object
Don't
of
remember
desire.
that.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. Rock's pretty good. I mean, all the Fast and Furious, or some of the Fast and Furious. He's on a show we can't say on there, but there's other HBO, I think. But anyway, but I do think he is huge. And
thank you.
I saw him on a film clip. It must have been when he was still wrestling, but it was Stephanie McMahon. Of course, you remember her. Mm-hmm. And she was yelling at The Rock in the middle of the ring, and she slapped him. And she goes, "Come on, let's go." And he says, "I don't hit women," which was a nice moral type of situation. But guess who he picked to beat, out of her? Ronda Rousey. Must have been before she lost those
That
two
might have been
fights.
her last win.
Yeah, but it was sort of exciting to see that. But, when the WWE is, in the good old days, was sort of cool, right?
Yeah, it was more cartoonish, but it was like it's a part of my childhood at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, Roddy Piper was the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Mean Gene Okerlund?
Mean Gene Okerlund. Are you kidding me?
I got to know
man.
him. He's a
Really?
His son was a Division I University of Minnesota hockey player, very good.
Really?
Drafted by the Islanders. He's from Minnesota. Played golf with them down in Florida. He's exactly the same kind of guy at the golf course. They do an event, and they're all drunks playing.
Oh, wow.
And he's broadcasting it from the side of the putting. He's hilarious. He's just shredding everybody with that same voice.
Unbelievable.
How about Tricky Ricky Star? Was that his name?
Tricky Ricky Star.
I think I got his name. I don't know. Maybe not. Did I hallucinate right now? Back to the 50s?
Yeah.
60s?
If there isn't one, there ought to be somebody.
Ricky
named
Starr?
I
Tricky
think,
Ricky Starr.
I think there was some old time, and who was? God, they've had a lot of famous wrestlers. But let's get back to Chad.
Ooh.
Okay, so
Roddy
tell us,
Piper. Who else is your influence?
It was like the Kids in the Hall. It was a sketch group. Like it was always everybody but an actual stand-up comic. But I guess Eddie Murphy in his heyday was amazing, raw, delirious.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very
I remember being a kid just waiting up late to watch that.
Yeah.
When I was in the 6th grade, probably about 10, 12 years old, we recorded Eddie Murphy Raw because some neighbor friends of mine were talking about Andrew Dice Clay. And I was a little too young to know. And
I thought he was funny, though.
Yes, oh, sure.
Yeah.
As successful as you can get at that point, right?
Yeah.
But we recorded Eddie Murphy Raw. We watched it every other day for an entire summer. And a couple of 7th grade kids were walking around quoting that for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was all over the place. Going back to Andrew Dice Clay, I'm friends with him.
You are?
Yeah, which is it's so funny because I opened for him a few times, so I got to be friends with him.
Oh, wow.
And we were talking, and I go, I was like, I was never allowed to watch your stuff. I remember watching you at live because he was an arena act at the time, and it was crazy. He was selling out arenas, and he sold out Madison Square Garden. I go, I remember watching that movie.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah. He goes, what was it like? I was like, I was just sitting there with my friends. We were laughing. We weren't allowed to watch it. He goes, I go, what'd you do afterwards? He's like,
I'll be careful now.
No,
we're live on the air.
He goes, you know what I did? I went home and walked my dog and ate ice cream after that whole thing.
Oh, my God.
He goes, that's how he went down from that amazing high. He went home to have ice cream and walked his dog.
Well, he was in a movie. I think he's making somewhat a comeback. Jasmine, I think it's called.
Blue
Woody
Jasmine,
Allen.
Woody Allen.
Good role he played. I think he's really talented.
He's a great actor, and he has his own show on Showtime called Dice. And he was in Vinyl, Martin Scorsese's Vinyl, that was on HBO.
Good for him. He's still happening. So
go
ahead.
I said I might be the only person who has Ford Fairlane on DVD.
Ford Fairlane was great.
Oh, wow.
It was great.
It was great.
So what is your goal? I mean,
Zuzu Kettles.
comedians, it's highly competitive, I think.
Oh.
But I could tell your style it's probably funny. Well, first of all, we should announce, tonight, 7?
Yeah, we're going to show 7 and what?
7:30?
7 and 9:30. Two
7
shows
and
at
9:30. And tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock. And Rick Braun, if you haven't been out to a show,
It's a great place.
Class act. It's A-list club.
Oh, yeah.
So come out, bring a friend. It's always a party.
Now, it used to be called City North. It's now called High Street, but you're on High Street. So you're come down to High Street. It's on High Street, so you get a double high.
There
So
you go.
that's what I'm saying. You can use that if you want. But anyway, I'm not much.
I'm going to
use
close on that.
Yeah, the guy from NBC. So what's your style like? I mean, I could tell you're extremely outgoing.
Yeah.
And part of the fun about you, I think, is your delivery.
Yeah.
You just seem like you're really there.
Well, that's very nice of you. People always ask me, and I don't know. I'm a complete idiot. I'm an idiot, and I project that on stage. You could, I talk personal situations, usually screw-ups that I've done throughout life, and I just I take that and I make it into a joke, and people seem to like it, and I got a nice fan base, and
cool.
Yeah,
wow.
it's fun. I don't know. I'm very fortunate to be where I'm at, and I don't take it for granted.
Well, and that's important.
Yeah.
Right. Live each day.
Yeah,
fully.
man.
Yeah.
And I never lose sight because I always go to the club. I'll see a construction worker digging a ditch and doing manly stuff.
Oh, yeah,
and I'm like, that guy's more of a man than me. I cannot take this for granted because I should be digging a ditch right now.
Wow.
So people may think that it's an easier path. People become comedians because they're talented, right? But
Not
there's
necessarily.
hustle.
There's a lot of hustle.
You're working social media, I'm assuming, interacting with fans. You're contacting club owners. You make yourself in this job.
It's a 24-hour job. You're constantly networking, branding. Like you said, you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, messaging people, making flyers, making promo videos. I have a podcast that's popular. I have a new episode each and every week called Sit Down Zumach Podcast. You can tune in.
What is it called?
Sit Down Zumach Podcast. And basically I'll have on anyone. I have athletes, comedians, mostly comedians, some of my scumbag friends.
Nice. Oh, that's really cool.
So, yeah.
So you're very active, and it's all, promotional, too, to get you where you want to go. So where do you want to go?
Where do I want to go? I think I made it. NBC.
Exactly.
Here we are, 1060 a.m. Phoenix.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
So you've arrived.
He's arrived.
And there's not much more than this. But, however, I'm just kidding.
And you pictured it with a baby shower in the background.
Yeah.
Just like you always thought it was going to be.
I knew there would be a baby shower. I'm glad you guys honored my request.
Yeah, we did. And we're going to name the baby after you.
Oh,
and
good.
That may or may not be
Hopefully.
some type of controversy or not, but we'll see. Now,
we're going to call the baby Chad no matter what they name it.
yeah, exactly.
Not to,
Baby Chad.
not to derail you here.
Yeah.
My name's Chad, right?
Yes.
You know why my name's Chad?
Yeah.
You do. That's
Chad-
interesting.
The Florida election,
No,
2000. Gore,
because
Florida. Right?
I
hanging
don't really.
Chad.
You were.
Yeah.
No. The reason why my name's Chad is because my mom was obsessed with Elvis Presley,
Oh.
so she wanted to name me Elvis.
So where's Chad come in?
Here we go. So luckily, some people talked her out of that because, growing up as Elvis, you're going to get beat up by kids. Kids are mean. So she named me Chad. You know why? Because Elvis played a character in a movie called Blue Hawaii. The character's name was Chad, so she settled on that.
Oh, wow.
So my existence is Chad from Blue Hawaii.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's – I don't know what to say about that.
It's weird. I go, that's so dumb. Like, my favorite rapper is Eminem. So I can't name my kid Eminem. I'm going to have to name him The Rabbit because that's who he played in 8 Mile. We have to keep the tradition going.
I love it. That is really, really cool. Now,
the first name.
What's that?
The is the first name. And Rabbit is the
Rabbit,
middle name.
Yeah. The Rabbit Zumach.
Now, do you prefer stand-up comedy or do you also like acting?
I like stand-up because it's like there's an energy that you get in performing live. It's uncensored. You're in a club atmosphere or wherever, and you can't press pause. It's just like whatever happens, you screw up. It's nothing like it. So I have always enjoyed performing stand-up, but I like acting. I've been in some things. I've been in some crappy commercials and stuff like that.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've been in a movie. I'm in a movie that's coming out this summer.
Which one?
On Netflix. It's called Little Evil. I have a small role. Very small role. I play a paramedic.
Oh, excellent.
You want to know my line? Here we go. I walk in, I go, all right, where's the burnt clown scene? Boom.
That's it?
$1,000.
But you said it pretty nicely, though.
Where's the burnt clown?
Yeah, the clown. I come to a children's party, and the clown catches on fire.
Ooh. Oh, it's
a kid's movie.
Yeah, it's a dark comedy.
Oh, my gosh. That is too funny.
It stars, what's his name? Adam Scott, who was in the movie Step Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
He plays the older brother. Yeah, it's him, Chris D'Elia, and a bunch of funny guys.
Wow, that is sort of cool.
Yeah.
Right? That is really cool. So, but your ultimate goal and is what? Is to
be on the show, yeah.
Other than that.
I've always just the fact that I'm doing this the way I am, and I'm not a household name by any means, and I got.
You will be after today.
You think?
Yeah.
This is what's going to propel me.
Oh yes.
No, but I just always I'm making a career doing what I love, and it would be nice to be a little bit more financially stable.
Yeah.
So I think that just being in that, I never wanted to be famous because that's just annoying. I have famous friends, and their life stinks.
Yeah, that. Yeah,
it can't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's like Amy Schumer. She's a comedian. I don't know if
you know her.
Oh yeah, I started with her. Yeah,
really.
Before she became Amy Schumer was like.
I have a few words for her uncle. No, that's a different.
Chuck. But she's miserable.
She is.
Yeah, man, because she's getting beat up left and right because she tried to take. Some political stances.
She went political, yeah.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, and then her movies didn't do well, and she's getting destroyed online, and they make, people online are mean, and they're making fun of her ways.
There's no filter. It's brutal.
She can't go out anywhere.
Really?
It's hell.
I didn't know that.
She's a millionaire, and she's just miserable.
And, I did like her last movie with Goldie Hawn. I thought it was sort of funny. Did you guys see it, anyone?
I never did. I feel bad.
The movie when she was with LeBron James, that was classic.
Trainwreck.
She was great.
That got some recognition, actually.
Oh, it did. It was funny. It was good.
No.
Wow, so you started with her.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't talk to her as much these days. Like, if I see her or whatever, we'll hug. And
Uncle Chuck won't allow it?
I don't have a relationship with Chuck Schumer.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Was it in New York where you started, or?
Well, stand-up's almost like high school. There's the seniors, the juniors, the freshmen. We were in the same class, and we have a mutual friend named Jim Florentine. So I worked with him. So Jim and I, we did the road together. So I was working out of Cleveland. She was out of New York, but we did a bunch of dates together, and that's how we became friends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we stayed in the same comedy condo. Like right now, I was at Rick Bronson's Comedy Club. They put us up in this nice condo. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And so Amy
right
and
there on High Street. Oh.
Yeah.
Amy and you, I interrupted something.
No, nothing happened. We were just, it was strictly, I think I may have tried, but she wasn't interested. That's fine.
Man. What's up with that?
Well, it's kind of the thing to bust that place up right when on your last show. You didn't know that? Bust it up. Tear it up.
Yeah, we go Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Motley Crue,
Sink
guess what?
has to come off the wall.
They rented my house in California.
No way.
Yeah, Motley Crue.
Did they destroy it?
I can't remember, but they did. Pam Anderson, wasn't she related to
Tommy Lee?
Yeah, I saw some film on that. Ooh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There you go.
Yeah, probably film no one should watch.
All right.
That was a documentary.
Yeah, self-made. Talking about a selfie.
Yes.
There you go.
That was a selfie video. So, this is good. Let me ask you this. It's something probably everyone's wondering, but no one wanted to ask. You have famous friends like Amy Schumer and probably others you don't have to mention. But do they ever, like, they've made it pretty good. Do they ever offer to, help you? Like Adam Sandler helps all his friends, right? Sort of, in a way. Mm-hmm. Right, Adam?
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm friends with Nick Swartzen, and Sandler does stuff with him.
But do they ever say, hey, we'll try to get you,
It's like a slippery slope. Up. You don't want to ask.
Yeah.
And every
but
now and
they
then.
offer, though? Or?
No, like Swartzen's taking me out on the road. Like,
oh, cool.
You get gigs here and there, and it's one of those things where, they're having their moment, and I don't want to bother them.
Gotcha.
Because their lives are crazy, and,
yeah.
If I get a phone call, I'm happy. I'm like, hey, what's up, and I leave it at that.
Well, that I think that's sort of cool. And, but I mean, the main thing what I'm getting right here, if I had a conclusion, we only have a minute or two left, is that you love what you're doing what you love, and that's satisfying to you.
Yes.
And that's a good thing because most people hate what they do.
Yeah, that's true.
To end on a light note,
most
people hate what they do.
No, don't you think a lot of people, they wake up and they don't like what it's
a rare thing. If you know what you want to do with the rest of your life at age 30.
It's a compliment to you that you love it, and it shows because you're having fun right now, and you probably have fun quite often.
Well, to be honest with you, I would prefer to play in the NBA. That was the goal.
I gotcha.
But it's not happening, so no. I'm happy with this.
But I hear there's a guard position available on Cleveland.
We'll see. We
Probably.
Will see.
I don't know. Maybe
is Kyrie coming to Phoenix?
Is that ridiculous?
Is Eric Bledsoe going to Cleveland?
Yeah.
I think they turned that down. Read that here locally that they weren't going to.
That's not going down.
It's Jackson. The guy they weren't going to trade Jackson and Bledsoe.
Really?
That's what I heard.
Oh,
that's enough Phoenix Suns talk for you'll ever get.
Okay, before I know you're on a break, but guess who I just played basketball with 2 days ago in Phoenix at one of the gyms. I don't want to blow up his spot.
In Phoenix.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley.
No, Mike Bibby.
Really?
Yeah, he's playing. He's playing like right in the gym. I go, who's got next? And
LA Fitness.
No, it's not LA Fitness. It's a Lifetime Fitness.
Lifetime.
Yeah.
I saw him once when he was in the NBA at the time, and we talked a little bit, and I think Greg went to school with him.
Oh, okay.
High
Remember
school,
Jim
right?
Bibby? His dad?
Or he was a year ahead.
Doesn't he hate his dad?
I don't know, but his dad was good.
Yeah,
he
did.
Pirates, Texas Rangers, guy threw hard.
But he was definitely good. U of A, great guard, and then Sacramento, I guess, for quite a while.
He said he was coaching his son. Is that what's going on?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Really?
Because I was bothering him.
So, see, Phoenix is blessed.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess. Okay. But anyway.
All right.
This is so exciting. We really want to, again, tell you good luck.
Thank you.
And
come out to the shows, everybody.
The show tonight, 7 and 9:30, right?
7 and 9:30.
And then tomorrow, 7.
7. So you got 3 options to come see me, Chad Zumock, in Phoenix.
Yeah.
With Mike Bibby. Mike Bibby's on the shows. I forgot to tell you. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, we're getting a call right now from Mike Bibby. And he goes, thanks for the offer. How much?
Yeah.
Okay. So I could tell you're hysterical. Some people, right, you can just tell they're going to be great in front of people. And I'll go back to your delivery. It's just it's energizing.
Well, if anything, I'm glad I came on the show to feel better about myself because you've been very nice to me.
Well, we appreciate you coming down.
This wasn't a radio interview. This was a therapy session, and I feel great.
Oh, this is good.
It was a cleanse.
You know what, Chad?
Is there such a thing as a shy comedian?
I think so.
There's a lot of introverts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's people that they can't express themselves unless they're on stage.
Right.
Like Robert De Niro.
Yeah, De Niro's from what I understand.
Noted stand-up comedian.
What's that?
Noted stand-up comedian Robert
No,
De Niro.
but I heard he was really shy, but he's a great actor. Except he wasn't shy when he threatened to punch someone out named the president.
Yeah.
Okay. But he did have that ad campaign going. So, anyway, Chad Zumock, again, tonight, Rick Bronson's House of Comedy, 7 and 9:30. Tomorrow, 7?
Yes.
I think. And it is in High Street, on High Street. But come clear and enjoy the show.
Yeah. No, I recommend get high and come on High Street.
Ooh, okay. The words, the views expressed on this program is not necessarily that of the hosts. However, that was Chad
But it will make
Zumock.
the show better.
Anyway, Chad, thank you so much.
Thanks,
again.
guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Best
Thank
of
you.
luck.
And, guys, this was a fun show today. Come down the California Pizza Kitchen, 2400 East Camelback Road in Phoenix. This is Real Hockey Talk, Breakthrough Sports. NBC Sports Radio AM. Yes.
The
Bold
Greg
prediction.
could not think of a term earlier today. He almost had an aneurysm while
He did.
doing it. It was bold prediction.
Bold prediction.
And I've never heard of that bold prediction before.
Here's my bold prediction.
But that's
Mike
okay.
Camilleri will not win the Hart Trophy.
No. So
we will
come on
see.
down,
Yes.
California Pizza Kitchen. Rick, thank you. Greg, thank
Yeah.
you. Eric, Story, thank you.
Yes.
See everyone next week at another undisclosed. No, we will disclose where
I
we
will be in Vegas.
You'll be in Vegas calling in, though. All right. Everyone have a great weekend. We'll see everyone next week. Bye-bye.